Hello everybody and welcome. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on LOTRO's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. So I am your host of the day, or of the moment, Little Redhead, and we'll be doing some stuff here hanging around in Middle-earth. So I see we got Kathy B in the chat, so hello and welcome. I have two cats nearby, but you can't see them, so I won't show you, but we've got a Cateau here on my lap, and we've got a Casper over here next to me on the couch. So the cats are nearby, even if they aren't actively on stream. So they're here in support. Good cats, good cats. So yeah, so today we're probably going to go back into that whole Mordor allegiance thing. So this is where if you go to your character and then you scroll down to allegiances, that's where you can pull up this allegiance panel, which normally I have big, like this. And currently we have two tabs on here that we can play around with. One is the Zelruka clan. We talked about this a little bit last week, but basically once you're like level 20, this is open to you, and your dog is watching too, says Kathy B. Excellent. We're just, you know, we're very inclusive here. All the cats, dogs, other critters. I know it's so funny. One of our streamers on LOTRO stream has chickens, I believe. And so sometimes her stream has to be delayed. Like she's ready to go, but the sun is going down. And I guess when that happens, that's when the chickens need to get put to rest, to sleep for the night or whatever. And so there's times when she has to reschedule her stream by like half an hour because she's got to go deal with the chickens, which I think is fantastic. That's awesome. So anyway, so we have the Zelruka clan here. And they're some dwarves that are in the mountains up at Gundabad. And so there's a whole storyline there where you can work with them and help them basically tidying up the place now, and we're kind of reclaiming it for their own, but then setting it up as a place for trade and dwarves to come and go, and you know, really setting it up as a hub for a bunch of stuff. So that we did a while ago. Hey Skagosi, good evening to you as well. Skagosi says good evening to Little Red and Before. Okay, so that one we did previously, like, and we did some on stream, so at some point. So if you're ever curious, go searching through like probably my YouTube videos, because I do them here on Twitch, but then I go ahead and cross-post them over onto YouTube because they're a lot easier to search there than on Twitch, to be quite honest. And then also Twitch sometimes has like, you know, they're too full, and so they want you to delete some of your videos. And so just in case of that, we have it all over on YouTube as well. At least myself and Before do. Each streamer handles it a little bit however they want to, but that's what we do because it just makes more sense. Okay, so there's a second tab here at the top, and that's the tab that we're currently very active with. So there's 4 different allegiances listed at the top here. We have the Kingdom of Gondor, we've got the Hobbits of the Company, we have Durin's folk, and we have the Court of Lothlorien. So this is pertaining to helping these 4 groups with various things after the fall of Sauron. Yeah, spoilers, I guess. Probably you've read this book that's like 75 years old by now, maybe, you know. Or watched a movie that's like 25 years old, I guess, the newest series, the Peter Jackson series. Or watch the old, well, I guess the old cartoon ones didn't actually get that far, did they? So, yeah. Anyway, so you can actually like sign up with each of these and be working on them simultaneously, in terms of like they have some quests that you can go out and do, and each one of the 4 factions has a daily quest that you can do, and then in total there's like some weekly quests for these folks, like an umbrella weekly quest that involves doing stuff in all of these various areas. So you can pick all that up. The daily ones, you have to go to each one of them to get their daily. But then they also have a whole bunch of other quests of that day, because they rotate through every day what quests they want you to go do. And that is at a notice board, and that notice board is duplicated across the 4 of them. So, you know, if you go to one and you pick up all the stuff at the notice board, you've picked up all the stuff at all of the notice boards. But the daily one, you do have to go and get at each one of them. So, I'm going to check this ingredient crate, because I bet I haven't done that recently. Indeed, I am correct. I'll just grab some free ingredients there. Those are universal ingredient packs. So, like, if you're ever doing any crafting, and let's see, Forster's not a good, Taylor, like where you're creating something. So like if I want to create this small high seas rug, I can use a bolt of elven cloth, 2 brushed leathers, a spool of elven thread, or I could just be like, nah, I'm just going to use universal ingredient packs. It'll cost me 1, of which I have 29,000, so I'm good. I can afford it. And I could make this rug. The only thing is, if you use the universal ingredient packs, because the packs are bound to you, the item is also bound to you. So, and it will tell you that somewhere. Let's see if I click on this here. Here it is. Warning, items crafted with ingredient packs will be bound to your account upon creation. So you can trade it around amongst your characters on your account, but you cannot give it away. So like if I've got like maybe a level 50 person and I want to make them a whole bunch of this snazzy armor, I can do that, but it's going to go just, it's only going to be available to my own characters. I can't give it away, which is sad. But they are handy to have in case you're ever trying to, like, you know, push through on something and increase your levels on something. Because, you know, maybe I'm like, because I have done some crafting professions where I was like, this is not going anywhere. So you just like, I just pick a thing, well, maybe not a guild thing, but, you know, pick a thing and then just make a whole bunch of them, like fill up your whole inventory, just, you know, with all these things. Funny thing though is if you make it with the crafting ingredients, it's only worth a penny as opposed to the actual cost, which is normally like, if you sell it, it'd be worth 7 silver and 58 copper in this particular case. But if I make it with the ingredient packs, it's only going to sell for a penny. So it's not a good money maker, just FYI. Not unless you feel like clicking for a long, long time. But anyway, I picked these up when I can because it seems like the thing to do. Oh, Hobbit gifts are gone. Or those seasonal ones. All right, well, just grab me. Oh, and I got a... So this is a universal optional crafting ingredient, which is not the same as the universal ingredient packs. Basically, the packs look like these brown things, and they're supposed to look like little packs, little backpacky things, little bags. However, if you're making a thing and there is... Oh, I'm not upper level on this. That's why it's a problem. Let me find something. Okay, so you see here on the bottom, when you're trying to like get the critical version of a thing, because like in this case, the regular one is like 144 physical morale, max physical mastery, and plus 291 maximum morale. But if I were to crit on it, it's like it gives me plus 3% melee damage when wielded, as an addition to the plus 144 physical mastery and the 291 maximum morale. So you get something extra special when you crit on things. So let's say I want to crit making this thing. Well, I can use a fairy flax fiber, and that gives me a critical chance of plus 45%. Apparently I'm at plus 25% right now, probably because of my universal thing, the tool craft I'm using probably. Yeah, it's giving me extra critical chance on things. So if I wanted to boost that critical chance, I could use some flax fiber. But the other option here, this 1 out of 2, I can switch it over to number 2, which is use one of these universal optional crafting things. And it looks like, I don't even know how to describe this thing. It looks like some sort of a gem that's like, you know, goes this way and then goes this way. So it looks like a little crossed gem of some sort or something. So if you use that, then you have 100% critical chance. So that's what those are useful for. Hey, we got a little tea set going. Very nice, very nice. Now, fun stuff has occurred since the last time I actually played. And that is, there's been a UI update of a lot of things. Not, of a bunch of things. I haven't even looked at the patch notes to see what happened or what didn't happen. Oh, but I do know, wait. Awesome. The hunter stuff reset. So, before it's been playing around with my hunter a little bit. But for example, my red line isn't set up. So I have to respec that. He's already set up my blue line for me the other day, which was great. So anyway, yeah. So he's playing with the trait tree spec on my character the other day. Totally fine with me. So he's gone ahead and set up my blue line. But just if you're a hunter, you're going to need to redo your specs. So hopefully you got a screenshot last week before they did the reset. I'm going to go back to my blue. But there we go. So I'm all set to go. And we've got some things there. We got some things there. So groovy. So just be prepared for that. And then one of the other fun things they did is if you have characters, any characters on the server that you're on, and they are earning stuff on the legendary item reward track, which by the way ends in 21 days. As you earn stuff on here, so as I'm doing quests that give me legendary item experience, this little bar will fill slowly, and then once it gets to the end, I go to the next box. So I'm currently in box number 87. So I have not gone through and claimed any of the stuff before this. So we now receive a notification to let us know, hey, you have unclaimed rewards on the reward track. So, oh, that's funny. There we go. If you click on it, it should pull up the reward track. But so that's a nice little reminder if you need to be reminded of that sort of thing. Honestly, I try to forget about it, so I just let it sit on the side and deal with it all later. But that's fine. I can also be reminded. There'll probably be a way to turn off that reminder in the future. Maybe not. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So that's where we are on that. So, shall we go pick up some quests? Before it says, I'm hoping they'll make it so that you can turn it off until 2 weeks before the end. Yeah, that would be handy. Okay, so, oh yeah, how's my window looking? Subscriber buffs, good for another 6 days. Okay, cool beans. Don't think I'll worry about it for now. So we're going to go to the 4 different locations and check in with each of them and get their daily quests. And then the first one we go to, we'll probably just pick up all the other quests as well. So the hobbits post Mordor are hanging out here in Bar Thorenian. So we're going to go and have a little chat. Now we've already done a lot of stuff for Merry and Pippin. So we don't actually need to check in with them anymore. Check this out. There's like a whole new side stuff here. They've they changed they changed stuff. So anyway, okay. So this lady here, Aster Hayward, she's the one who's got our daily quest. Oh, did you already pick it up for me or something?
You have the weekly.
Right on. Right. Okay. So daily expedition. That's a wrapper that we can pick up anywhere of the 4 places. So I'll just go ahead and grab it from her. And she's saying today we're going to focus our efforts in Udun and Talith Uri. So the bounty board has a bunch of stuff. So we'll go take a look at the bounty board here in a second. But this gives us a little wrapper. If we do 4 quests, which we will likely do, we're going to get, that's what we want, these preserved relics of the last alliance. Because in our little allegiance thing, when we consume those allegiance thingies, they will go towards whichever track it is that we are working on. You can only work on one track at a time in each of the tabs. So in this tab, we are currently working on Durin's Folk, and I've got a little arrow pointing at it. And also, if I hover over it, it says Durin's Folk, active allegiance. If I hover over the Hobbits, it says maximum allegiance level. If I hover over the Court of Lothlorien, it says the same thing. If I hover over the Kingdom of Gondor, it doesn't say anything. So that gives you some idea of where we're at and so forth. Okay, sure, yeah. Skagosi says, the warning for the legendary reward track scared me. For a moment, I thought the reward track was over. Yeah, I know, right? They changed up a few things. Before says, of course, if you go to the various locations, you can pick up 5 quests for each of the 5 regions, but only these 2 regions count for the daily wrapper. Fair enough. Okay, so she has a request that's specific to the faction. So in this case, this is an errand for Frodo. And she says, I have asked our friends to give me requests that can be fulfilled by willing adventurers such as you. Such as Samwise Gamgee, are reluctant to make any such requests. Others, like Peregrine Took, are entirely too eager to send adventurers out into danger. My task for you today is a request from Frodo Baggins. He spoke to me of the plight of the Nirnhoth captives in Gorgoroth. It seems he knows something of the cruelty with which the orcs treat their prisoners. If you can enter the prison of Nerband in Talith Uri and free some of the Nirnhoth captives held within, I know Frodo will be pleased. I will also have a reward for you if you're able to see it done. So, we are picking that up. Now, over here on the task board are various papers, and let me zoom in a little bit maybe. So, different papers are active on different days, it seems to me. Like sometimes I feel like different papers we've seen pop up. So anyway, so today is Udun and Talith Uri, so we will click on those and pick up those quests. All right, so we've got 5 of them here. A fighting chance. Barricaded adventure is needed to break down barricades. Infiltrating. This is just a notice pinned to the board. Brave warrior needed to infiltrate the pit fighting tournament. Okay. Reclaiming. This is another notice. Oh, but this one's stamped with the royal seal of Gondor. The enemy is taking control of western Goshgum. And brave adventurer needed to claim that area. Red skies. An urgent notice pinned to the board. Merivale have been spotted on Mount Doom. A brave adventurer is needed to defeat foes on the mountain. Seek out Kandor and Udun to learn more. So this one requires a going into a like a public dungeon, I believe it is, or a dungeon instance. No, it's a resource instance, isn't it? Probably. Anyway, you have to go to that guy, Kandor and Udun, in order to get into the place where you then complete this particular thing. Okay. And then scattering report also pinned to the board that groups of Gashhai have been spotted securing structures near Nargothrond in Talith Uri, and a brave adventurer is needed to defeat these foes. Okay. And then over in Udun, we've got 5 others, freshly hatched. This is a note signed by Barathron. And we've discovered a new set, excuse me, of hatches on the northern slopes. They must have been dug very recently. An adventurer is needed to investigate these hatches and defeat whatever orcish creatures have dug them. Orders of the pit. An urgent notice. And this is another one of those where we have to go into an instance. Foes in the fortress of Durthang carry out orders of how they are to serve the captain of the pit. So we need to go collect those orders. But we got to go talk to Kandur in Udun. Captains of the Mornar Lookout. We have a scouting report from Barathron. A dangerous Uruk commands the orcs at Mornar Lookout. We need to go defeat him and the captains under his command. The Fallen Within. Let's see. This one is stamped with the royal seal of Gondor. Some of Captain Lachir's men remain in Anglach, corrupted beyond hope. It is with sadness We request an adventurer to enter there and put these poor souls to rest. Oh dear. Go talk to Kandor in Udun Foothold to get access to where we need to go. And another note from the board signed by Barathron. We've been unable to quench the flames of the furnaces of Mordor. I suspect something else is at work there. Something evil. An adventurer is needed to investigate. All right, so that's all of our daily go help out with these things quests. But we still have to pick up the dailies from the other 3 allegiances. So we'll go do that. Let's see, so hobbits are here. And yeah, isn't it on here somewhere? Minas Tirith has... oh, there it is. It's all sparkly. Journey to the Hall of the King. That's one we want to go to. I'm still learning where to find things on the map. Once I do it during that day a few times, I've got it. But if it's been a few days between the last time I did it, I'm still like, where is it? Okay. So in this place, which has a very shiny floor, that same notice board is, I think, around the corner. But we just need... oh, it's right here. So here he's got the Udun stuff, Tal Uri stuff, which we already picked up. And then he's got his specific request for this faction is called Still Defiant. Let's see. A shield was given to me, a shield that was once cloven in 2, but has now been repaired with leather straps. I believe you know the man who lent it to me, for he has repaired a number of them and bears one himself. It is a shield of the Thrandrim, who once held the fortress of Durthand and were slain by the forces of Mordor. This man does not want the orcs and other evil creatures who now inhabit it to forget the steadfast Thrandrim, and he wishes for brave warriors to bear this shield to the keep, once known as the Black Shield. He asks you hang the shield on the wall and then defeat a number of foes within. Once you have done this, retrieve the shield from the wall where you left it and return it to me. This man will be glad to have the shield returned, but more than that, he'll be glad to know that the memory of the Thrandim lives on, and you can still strike out at their hated foes. So, there we go. So that's his specific one. Now we need to go talk to elves and dwarves. So we'll go talk to the elves, and they are at the court of Lothlorien. So we're going to go see them there. They have a specific place there that we're traveling to, though. You can't just travel overland to these places. You got to have their travel skill to get you in. And let's see. Oh, yeah, their person is right here by the board. This is Lorelas. All right. Her request is food, water, and words. She says, my people may seem strange to you. The currents of the world do not affect us as outwardly as they do you, but I assure you we feel the same hurts as others of the free people. I give to you these packages and ask you to deliver them to the elf warriors who adventure in Udun on behalf of Lord Celeborn. You ask what is contained within. Some contain wrappings of lambas, others skins of clean water, and some contain short messages from folk of the Golden Wood encouraging their friends to go on with their tasks. In this way, you will deliver food, water, and words of hope to those who need them and aid the cause of the elves that must adventure in the Black Land. Look for elf warriors who have need of these gifts in Udun on the road that climbs to Anglak. All right. And then one more. We're going to go say hi to the dwarves in, let's see. Nope, that's not it. Yes, Journey Under the Mountain. Mayabi says hi. Hello. Before says the currents may not affect the elves, but what about raisins? All right, and then let's see, where's our daily person? It's not the guy with the sword. He's the one that wants us to do story stuff. We're not doing story stuff right now. All right, Vorthy by the board. His request for us today is hot work and lots of it. He says, dwarves returning from Mordor have told tales of the Gashgum, a great lake of fire that boils and bubbles south of Mount Doom. The picture these scorching stories paint is a most unpleasant one, and it makes my brow sweat even here, among the cool shadows under the lonely mountain. I want to help the dwarves that still labor in Talith Uri. I have prepared kegs of ale to quench the thirst that they surely possess. Set up the kegs not far from the Gashgum, perhaps northeast of Thorzov off the road. Parched dwarfs will be glad to see you. Sure, man. Happy to do the stuff. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get all that stuff off my tracker though, because Affadil is going to show us around. Affadil is going to lead us around. Okay. Grab the quest for the other 3 regions just in case. Sure, how do we do that? Tell me where to go. All right, we're going to go take this rider to Mordor, which all of the 4 factions have one of these riders to Mordor, and it takes us here. Oh, I got to go to some ruins. Hang on.
Come.
Ruins of Dingarth, okay. So, my Abby says, I read all 3 Lord of the Rings books when I was a wee lad. Oh, that's awesome. D4 says, nice. They were formative for many of us. Hang on, who am I talking to? Apparently I can pick up some more stuff here. All right, so Lingris has 5. We've got a note on the board from Atlee Spiderbane. Spotted glowing ore in the Broken Cleft. Excuse me. So he wants some samples from that. Kirith Ungol, Spider Place. So Atlee Spiderbane has given us a quest to go up there, of course. We don't want to let the place become infested with spiders now that it's no longer infested with orcs, so go deal with that. Reclaiming Lingris. This one has the Royal Seal of Gondor. Enemy has taken control of part of Morgai in Lingris. A brave adventurer is needed to claim this area for Gondor. Let's see, Nelagroth Broodmother. We have located a particularly elusive foe, the Broodmother of Nelagroth. She does not reveal herself easily, so you gotta give her an offering. So we'll do that. And then Legolas put a notice out here saying, I have witnessed orc traders from Kirith Ungol placing traps in the Wraith Kyle to halt our advances. I've removed these traps, but I think we could use them to our advantage. So let's put them out and use them against the people who put them down. All right. Then over here in the other side, for Dor Amarth, we have an urgent notice pinned to the board. Black Numenorians spotted in Barad-dûr. Defeat some foes. And that's one where we need to have a specific quest underway, so we've got to go to Kandor and Udun for that. And the quests that we get from Kandon in Udun, those are timed quests. You only have an hour to complete it, so that's why we're not picking those up until we're ready to go do them. So we have a notice from Ingold. An emissary from Nargoth, has been spotted. A brave adventurer is needed to defeat the Rogmul emissary and those of Fusham Tomb. I don't speak back speech very well, you know. Let's see. This one is Keepers of the Arid Luthoi. Lights have been spotted among the once abandoned towers. Find and defeat those who occupy these towers. So we're assuming they're, enemies of us. Let's see, we've got another notice from Ingold, the Ologhai Lord. Detected a large presence of Ologhai at Fusham Tomb. And believe the leaders are planning an attack. So infiltrate the camp and defeat the foes. And then, last notice, many unclaimed treasures are still to be found in Dor Amarth. So go and recover the treasures. Hey, Casper. All right, I believe we've picked up all the quests here. Hey, buddy. We got all that. We got all that. I think we're good to go. So, where do we want to go to start this craziness? Oh, we got one more to get. Okay. Oops, not you. Agranate. Can you send me to Agranate, please? Thank you. Miyabi is saying that long books they were, Lord of the Rings. That is true. Before it says, you need a lot of pages to capture everything that was happening He may have also lacked an editor who is editing for length. Yeah, but I'm okay. I'm okay with all the extra words. More detail is good. I am appreciative of this. I'm guessing we're going to this board over here. Okay, so Banners of the Lady of Blight. This one's pinned to the board, written in a loose script, specifically to me. Rosenbloom, I hope you're doing well. Farron told me you and other adventurers will be checking these boards. Should you make your way back into Saragost, you should make an effort to remove any of Lareth's banners that you find. I believe this will help demoralize our opponents, making the fight a little easier. Good luck out there, Radrog. Okay. Let's see. Bounty notice, stamped with this royal seal of Gondor. Wanted Shakrum the Ripper. Somewhere within the courtyards of Saragost lurks the Morval, known as Shakrum. He's personally responsible for leading several attacks on the Red Sky Clan. We like the Red Sky Clan. So we're going to go help them out. Hunt the Nairberg. Another notice with the seal of Gondor. Wanted the Frenzied Norbog. Deep in the Morkal Rook lurks a particularly dangerous colony of Nairberg. So the Conquest of Mordor requests an adventurer to go and remove them. Defeat the largest among them, the Frenzied Norbog, as well as many of their number. More pesky critters. Crude note pinned to the board, scrawled in red ink and barely legible. You think it says, need more rats. You assume that Viznak would like someone to capture more tree rats for him. And also posted on the board, it sounds urgent. The Red Sky Clan of Bolrud is under siege from infected orcs. A brave adventurer is needed to defeat foes in Agarnath. Seek out Kondur in Udun to learn more. Okay. So we've got a bunch of stuff that people would love for us to go do. Good thing we are hearty adventurers. So we start in Udun. Sure. Why don't I take us there, right? All right, Udun foothold. There we go. So I have a hunter travel skill that can take my party there, which is fantastic. So Miyabi says lots of players seem to dislike elves. I love elves. I don't know. I think okay. So I mean, you can't judge sometimes what people are really into by what the chaos and world chat sometimes. There's like this whole weird anti-Hobbit thing by some people, and I think it's supposed to be a bit like it's supposed to be comedy, but I don't know. It just, I'm like, after a while, I'm like, okay, this isn't funny. I don't sure why you guys are still doing this. So sometimes you just gotta ignore whatever that's all about. And some people do that about the elves too. I think I find it interesting the balance of the different races in Middle Earth. Okay, hang on. We're going to do Anglak the Great Foundry. Okay. Got it. Okay, so now we're going in here. And so we have some very specific quests for this, like defeat the Master of the Mines, so forth. But once we kind of walk in a little bit, what's going to trigger is every one of the factions that we're working with is going to give us an auto-bestowed quest. And because we've signed up to work with all four of them, we've said hi to all of them and agreed to, help out. Oh, this one might not have those. But basically all the other ones do, where we have like a quest from each of them. So we'll see that in another one of these.
Yeah, there's 5 like that, and then this one is weird.
But let's see, there's probably, is this here also? Yeah, I'm just going to click on all of these in case we're working on them. Although that's probably not in here. Okay, we'll just let them auto-populate. I'll just leave it. Before it says, I think elves are cool as a concept, but I prefer to play hobbits. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I do every so often go through a pretty hefty elf phase, where I end up making like a whole bunch of high elf characters, because I really enjoy some of the emoting that they can do. They have a special dance that's different from everybody else, and they also ride differently. And then the third thing is when you're jumping off of something like that, They do this little tumble at the end, which is really cool. So from a player perspective, I do enjoy playing a high elf from time to time. Also, I kind of like the kind of the longevity that they have. Like they've just been around for a while and they've seen a lot, and so they have a much different perspective on things. You know, they're able to like, I mean, it's like the difference between like somebody who's a young adult and like, oh no, the sky is falling, this is gonna be terrible, ah, and somebody who's been around a while and who's like, you know what, this will pass, everything's fine, don't worry. You know, so yeah, it's like Galadriel, like you say, Galadriel in particular has been through a lot. Yeah, she's seen a lot, and she's, so that's one of the things I kind of enjoy about like the high elves, about just in part due to how much history they have lived through. They have seen a lot of the stuff that's going on, and so they have an understanding of how things fit in a broader context, which is cool. So I appreciate that about the elves, definitely. So let's see, B4 says, of course, I am in the middle of making a tapestry that will take another few years to complete, so I can appreciate their patience. Yeah, that too. Yeah, I think there's something about that. So B4 is working on a chainmail project, and it is a multi-year project for sure. And yeah, there's something about just having to embrace the, you know, you must take many small steps in order to make a long distance kind of, you know, philosophy. So yeah, that's fun. I've also been learning to embrace that better. I've been knitting. I started off with crochet, where you can like make a lot of progress in a very short amount of time. But now I've been kind of embracing knitting and enjoying that. And yeah, it's taking me a lot longer to make things, although I am choosing large projects now as well. Oh, interesting. A whole bunch of stuff popped up there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just follow you. Oh, these guys were hiding by the wheels. What are we looking for? Counselor Graff, that one? Oh, but we think they're this way, yeah.
Oh, and the soldiers.
I mean, it looks like we have some raiders joining us. So, hello, raiders, welcome. You're raiding so Jeff can slack off. Well, good on him. Go take some time off there, Jeff. So this is SlackJeff. Oh, that's what you're emoting. That's cute. Well, let's see. So, well, welcome to the raiding, folks. I'll take a second here. I'm Little Redhead, so welcome. Welcome here to the Lord of the Rings Online Twitch channel. So that's twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. I'm Little Redhead, and I am a fan of this game that you are currently seeing, which is LOTRO, Lord of the Rings Online. I don't know what game you guys are coming from, what you guys have been playing. But yeah, so welcome. That's what we're doing here. And I am playing with, my character is Rosenbloom in the orange dress, and Affadil there in the white chef's hat is my partner in crime over here, sitting next to me in the same room even. That would be B4, who does his own stream called Plugging Along, where he talks about LOTRO plugins. So now I think you're pretty caught up. SlackJeff says, excuse me, we wanted to keep the LOTRO fun going. We just finished the Battle of Pelennor Fields. Well, we're a little ahead of you there. So, but not that much, that's fair. Few spoilers in what we're doing. Although we are pretty much running some pretty specific content that you gotta go out of your way to do. which is the, yes, spoilers. In case you haven't read the books or seen the movies, things happen. So after you make your way into Mordor, spoilers there are some allegiances that you can pick up, and you can do stuff for Faction of Man, let's see, so Kingdom of Gondor, the faction of the Hobbits of the Company. We've got the dwarves represented by Durin's folk, and we've got the elves represented by the court of Lothlorien. So we are working on making progress with those 4 groups by doing some questing for those allegiances. I Curious Cabbage says, shout out to Durin. Indeed. Which one? So, wow, you guys, this is so awesome. So normally this is a pretty chill, relaxed chat, so I'll do my best to keep up with the chat that's happening there. Luckily, I can kind of follow B4 around a little bit, so I can chat with you guys. So let's see. Okay, so where are we at here? So let's see. SlackJeff had said hello, 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 hello. Bum, 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 bum. So Miyabi had said in the movies, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Gandalf the White is astronomically more powerful than the Witch King of Angmar, than in the books. And then we've got our raid here. So yeah, and everybody's letting me know that yes, SlackJeff was indeed playing LOTRO. Fantastic. Oh, SlackJeff says my first playthrough of the game. It's been amazing. That's fantastic. So, I mean, let me know if you don't want any spoilers. I'll do my best. Oh, excellent. We defeated one of the big bads that we were after. But you just missed kind of the explanation of what we're doing here, in a way. Let's see. You especially love the Denethor questline. Moria was amazing. I Curious Cabbage just finished a playground of Return to Moria. Oh, playthrough, sorry. That's probably what that was supposed to be. Yep, yep. Oh, yeah, so Miyabi is talking about how... Oops, what's going on with this guy? Yep, he is definitely behind that wagon. Hopefully we don't need to interact with him. Sometimes there's like a big boss you have to get to in these, and you have to like defeat all of X in order for that way to open. So hopefully that's not the case in this situation. Okay, so I'll do a search here in a second. Let's see. It's not that one. Hang on. Let me get rid of that one. Complete Durthang, the Army of the Pit. Here we go. Dwarfsmiths of Anglok. So those are the 2 I'm looking for. Okay, so I, as a hunter, will do a search for within humanoids. Yeah, we're gonna do a search. This is a great little thing that hunters can do, which is a search. I'm seeing no signatures around here, and no, Forge Master, nope. Not seeing anything by those names at this time.
Well, we moved beyond the dwarf section, so they were beyond.
Yeah, so, yeah, we were thinking maybe they were back there in that dwarf area. So, now this is the sort of situation where occasionally it can be useful to go to the wiki to get some more direction, but we'll see. We'll see if we need it. Oh, that guy's still after me. Hang on. Poor corrupted archer. He never had a chance. Where'd you go? You're up here. Okay. Oops, SlackJeff has to jump off PC for a moment, so be right back. No worries. We'll be here. So yeah, so I'm streaming for like 2 hours, and then before we'll pick up and stream for a couple hours doing stuff related to LOTRO plugins. So we'll be around for a little while tonight. Okay, cool. Cool, so we got rid of the Forge Master and all of that. Now we're looking for Counselor Granarth. And I'm wondering if maybe he's like a... Yeah, should be a dwarf. Yeah, so it should be a humanoid. Or a two-legged of person. And... So I've searched by challenge rating. Counselor... There we go. That way. That is such a handy thing to have as a hunter. I love it. It's fun. Before and I've been playing a card game, board game, card game. Lord of the Rings trick-taking game that came out recently, and you have... What's that? Upstairs. Okay. So there's... It actually, you play like a chapter at a time, and it's cooperative, thank goodness. And you are trying to... there's a ramp here. Oh, a ramp there too, okay. I just saw the one on the other side. Oh, I sure hope so said, hi, hope everyone is well. Sorry about that. Hello and welcome. Yes, I think we're doing pretty good. We were at a board gaming weekend this past weekend. That was pretty awesome. That's always fun. It's so funny because, like, we have all these board games at our home, which you can see better behind B4 during his stream. I kind of covered up the background behind me. Hey, there we go. I completed 10 quest arcs in Udun. Well, hurrah. Okay. So we're good here, right? So portrait exit? What's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to right click on my portrait and click leave instance. Yes, I really do. Especially before any patrols come by or something. Get me back in combat. That'll be annoying. Okay, so we just finished doing this for this guy, so we're going to go turn it in to him. And he says, thank you for your assistance. Yay. So that took care of... Hang on, complete Dirthang Army of the Pit. Oh, we haven't done that yet, right? Yeah. Okay, so we want to do the next one? I don't have that. I have the Dark Spire, maybe. I mean, that Kandor has. Kandor has the Dark Spire. Hopefully that is going to get us what we need.
The fortress of Durthorn, headquarters of
Okay, Army of the Pit.
is one of the greatest threats to those in Udun, under the banner of Gondor.
Yeah. So this one might be one where there's a bunch of stuff here to do as well. We'll find out. Let's see. Artifact chest. Oh.
Those have a 24-hour cooldown instead of a 3 a.m. cooldown.
Hmm.
In which case, because we were doing it last night,
Mm.
may not get those to do again.
So we were doing some of this last night, and well, but we have the quests. But we do have to collect. Oh, but that's a different one. The giving out water and stuff. That is a different one. Okay, fair enough. Well, and then orders though. I got some orders over here.
That's a normal one for entering distance.
Yeah, okay, that's an instance specific one. That's true. So basically what often happens is when you come into these resource instances that you get through Kandor, that guy back there, is there's like kind of a laundry list of stuff that the various factions want you to do. So like find some gems, find some artifacts, some supplies, and yeah, there's like 4 different things that pretty much get repeated that you go looking for, and each one has a different one. So like the dwarves want gems and so forth. And so they're lying on the ground, and sometimes you can still see, like they're blacked out, they're grayed out, kind of like how that, now that I've interacted with it, will disappear. Sometimes you can see the pieces of them on the ground, so I was looking for that just to kind of show you. Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you. So, for example, one of the things we might need to be collecting is pages, and so there's a page right there. I wonder if you can even read it, or is it really super scribbled? Yeah, that might not be. Anyway, so you know how that paper is laying there and it's grayed out. It's the same kind of thing. So like the gems and all the other stuff are in here. They're just grayed out because we did it we're thinking maybe because we did it last night, that maybe it's a 24-hour cooldown, not a server reset cooldown. That's all right. Maybe. We have been distracted and not coming in every day, it's true. Well, feel free to pop into the chat if you have any thoughts or questions or anything you want to talk about that's LOTRO related or Lord of the Rings related. We often have folks in the chat who are hanging out who have, like, you know, who've read the books. And so sometimes, you know, some Second Age lore comes up in the chat. I will admit that I have not actually read the Silmarillion. I only know some things. But I am not as well versed in lore as some people are. And also, of course, I don't know everything in LOTRO, but honestly, the game is so deep and so wide. There's so much going on and so many settings you can do to, you know, do this, that, or the other, that I don't think it's possible for any one person, even a LOTRO employee, which I am not. But even a LOTRO employee, I don't think there's any way that there's one person who could know all the things you could do in the game to customize things for yourself. So I figure the way I look at it is we all just kind of, you know, crowdsource it here in the chat. So if somebody's trying to figure something out, amongst the groups of us, we can figure it out, I'm sure. Even if not one specific person knows it. And I figure that is fine. But if you have plugin questions, the general how does a plugin work kind of questions, B4 is definitely a subject matter expert on that. A Smee. You're a Smee. It's me. Hey, I see some orders. I'm going to grab these orders. Oh, it's for a set of fries. They're going to be waiting a while. I bet there's nowhere around here that can make fries. Oh, more orders. Is it for pizza? Definitely encourage the silly jokes here. And B4 and I do enjoy playing as hobbits and seeing the world from a shorter point of view. Perhaps I don't know, somewhat innocent style point of view, perhaps. Also, Affadil's really good at just yelling at things and they fall over. Because Affadil is a minstrel. All right, so we had to get those two levers that we've just done in order to open up the tower where there's more stuff for us to check out, including probably some orders and likely the big boss of this space that we're looking for. See? Affadil yells, they fall over. It's wild. They're like, oh, I guess I'm tired now. I'm okay with that. Someone shouts orders from the top of the tower. All right, well. I suppose if you don't have an app on your phone, just shouting it down makes sense. Oh my gosh, there was one day we were looking for stuff in here and we were like going in circles, looking for things. It was crazy. So if you end up doing these instances, especially the resource ones. Each one of them, it's kind of like there's a set of these in Moria. So if you did those, you'll kind of have like a you'll be kind of like versed on understanding how like a resource instance works. But basically, like there'll be one particular type of resource. So this one, it's scholar stuff, and not only is it scholar stuff, but it's like this level of scholar stuff. So it's been those scholar boxes that Affodil's been picking up because Affodil is a scholar. I mean, I am also a scholar, but just so I can pick stuff up. I don't actually train in it very often. But yes, Affodil, the Chief of Death. So these Gorgoroth artifact chests, those have scholar stuff in it. And so Affodil's been really good about picking those up. But sometimes you'll have a resource instance and it's like, it's a bunch of wood, or maybe it's a bunch of ore, or whatever. And it's always that, just one level of that. Yeah, I had defeat 200 foes in the resource instance of Durthang. Wow, that's a lot. So here we are out on a little balcony with some lovely views and some, you know, people who want to thwart us. The thwarting is over. So yeah, you know, nice place for a summer home. Maybe not yet. I have gotten everything, I think. Then I'm good to go. All right, I will do that. So, yes, Harold Roarland says, Affodil, the Chief of Death. Chief of Sleep. We just are like, you know. Oh, MPM Friend says, I am a filthy burglar. You know, I tried doing burglar because I was like, hey, I'm a hobbit. It seems pretty like, I'm just going to turn these in. You know, like, why not go with the, you know, archetype, right? You know, Bilbo the burglar. But I just could not get good at being a burglar. Oh my gosh. That was really hard for me. Are we doing another one? Oh, thank you.
Well, if
Nope.
we want to... Oh, what do we got? I'm looking at the quests we still have.
Yeah. So what we did is, for those of you who weren't here yet, we went through to these different factions. They have like little hubs. And so we went to their different hubs and we've picked up a whole bunch of quests to accomplish today. So stuff in Udun, stuff in Talith Uri, Agarnaith, and Lingris. So we've got stuff all over the place. So let's see. We're going to finish off an Argonath quest deed. Sure. Where you want to go for that? Do I have that?
That's a silly question.
Or is that a person that we need to go talk to?
No, it's your...
Oh, right. My campfire is set there. Hello. Handy. It's a scythe. And Bilbo Baggins is a fraud, says MPM Friends. I chose man because of the animations. Should be the best pickpocket. Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, I did enjoy the pickpockety idea of the burglar. And, like, you could get some wild stuff pickpocketing. Like, not only, like, yeah, you can find, like, a rusty sword or whatever, but you can find some decent weapons I've run across. And I think there was also, like... I've seen some armor, but then I've seen other weird things like dyes and cosmetics, and oh my gosh, it's so wild. Like, there's just all crazy stuff. But I never could really get into the playstyle of playing a burglar. I was never effective enough in order to... Okay, so for example, oh, we want to catch some sneaky rats. Okay. Now, do I have to click on the rat and then the net, or just the net?
Rat and then net, maybe.
Okay.
Well,
Ready?
Maybe just net.
All right, I got one. And it says squeak. That's cute. All right, well, now my net is red line. So we gotta go find another one. But good news, there's usually a bunch of them around here. Oh, my net's green. What if I just click on it? Yep, I got 2. Oh, it's still green. I'll do it again. See if I got another. Oh. Ooh, maybe if I was quick enough, I could have got it twice.
I haven't been able to yet.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't mean it's impossible.
Before saying he hasn't been able to catch it twice in a row yet. That doesn't mean it's not impossible. Okay. Oh, yes, I agree. So, okay, I'm going to try and click it a second time again real quick. See what happens. Yeah, nope, it didn't like that. So, but I got, I'm up to 3. Oh, cool. So MPM Fran says, I really love LOTRO and started 2 weeks ago. Wow, that's so recent. There's a lot of recent folks here. That's awesome. Hmm?
All right, do we see another in the trees?
Let's see. So talking about play what suits your play style and what you enjoy. Absolutely. I tell you, that's the one thing about LOTRO that is really wonderful is that it is definitely about the journey, not the destination. Like there's the people who have created this game, which is like 18 years old, coming up on 19. The anniversary of LOTRO is in April, and the when they do a whole like anniversary festival and everything, and so then that'll go up to 19 years that LOTRO has been around, which is crazy. It's so good. Okay, I got 6 rats, so I am good to go. So yeah, so those of you who are new, make sure you log in during the time of the festival because you get some goodies during that. And then when you log in, once the anniversary ticks, which is in April, then anytime, if you log in anytime between then and the following year, basically, your account gets credited with having been around for another year. And so when you log in with your character, you're going to get some bundles of things. Let me see if I have any. Oh, we're in combat. Next time we're not in combat, I'll double check my my bags. Look up for Saragoth. Oh, hello. Yeah. That's quite the place, isn't it? Yeah. Very distinctive. That's wild looking, huh? All right. So yeah, and you guys are talking about like, it's not super sweaty like other MMOs and stuff like that. Yeah, there's the LOTRO, like I was kind of saying before, like it's so wide. There's so many different things you can engage in. So you could be like, I like attacking things. I'm just going to spend all my time and effort attacking things. But then you could be really into like the festivals, which is my jam. Now there's no festivals going on right now, so then that's when I go and do like other things like this, or running around working on our allegiance stuff. Now our characters, these are our completionist characters, so we are working on doing like every quest in the zone, all the deeds of a zone for sure, stuff like that. Cool. Talking to that statue is a teleport. Just FYI, that's what just happened in case you were like, what just happened? That statue is connected to another statue in this area. They've kind of got like this little network going on. So that's why you could talk to that statue and it sends you to its friend. But so like one of the things I really enjoy is the cosmetic system in this game. So now I play as a VIP, so I am a subscriber. So what you're seeing on my screen, the things I have access to, stuff like that, is sometimes has stuff that is subscriber. So like the wardrobe. I believe if you're free to play, you don't have like automatic access to it. You've got to purchase it or something like that. But as a VIP, I have it. So, and you come, I believe, with 2 outfits by default. Oh, hang on, I'm stuck on a rock. Let me deal with that. Oh yeah, MPM friends talk. Says I'm considering VIP. Yeah, I have personally found that it is worth it. But of course, you know, your mileage varies in terms of, you know, what are you doing in the game? What do you want to do with the game? I play it regularly enough that I kind of consider it like basically, you know, where people spend their expendable income, their entertainment budget, as you were. For Before and myself, we don't really go to the movies. We don't go to the bars. Like, our entertainment budget could be spent on things like that, but instead we spend our money on board games and video games, basically, and chocolate. But we live in the Netherlands, so getting good chocolate is actually pretty easy to do. Even our local grocery has store brand chocolate. It's pretty tasty. So we don't have to spend too much of our entertainment budget on stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, so being a VIP for us works out really great because it also, we're supporting this game that we spend a lot of time in and that we really enjoy, and we're happy to, you know, see it continue. Now, in case you don't know, SSG is a pretty small team, Standing Stone Games. They're not like, they don't have hundreds and hundreds or thousands of programmers and employees and all of that. I don't know. They don't publish their information, so I don't know exactly how many people they have. I mean, it's somewhere between 20 and 90. I think it's closer to, I think it's more than 50, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, so it's a small team, and you know, they've got a lot of heart as well. They really care a lot about what they're doing in the game, and they care a lot about the lore of the game. There's a lot of real attention paid to that. One of the folks, Maid of Lions, who's been with LOTRO for possibly the whole time, quite a long time, one of the devs, apparently puts together like a lore book when they are going into a new area to develop, and they spend, Maid of Lions, he puts together, like, he goes through and checks of, like, you know, what is there in the written stuff from Tolkien, you know, what kind of breadcrumbs can they follow, what kind of hints are there, all of that kind of stuff. And then I guess they talk about, like, what's the flora, what's the fauna of the area, so therefore, like, what kinds of, you know, beasties and whatnot might live there because of that. And I mean, just really digging deep into everything. So I appreciate the amount of time and attention they put into something that is so special, which is the Lord of the Rings books. I think are pretty special. They're pretty unique in the scope and the lore building, the world building, and just, yeah, just everything about it. I think they're an interesting and unique set of books and further materials. You know, with the Silmarillion and the letters and, you know, all of those things. So I love that there is a team that's like, hey, let's make a video game, but make sure that we stay as attentive to the lore as we can while still making it an MMO, right? You know, so you do have objectives, you have deeds, you have, you know, character skills and abilities and, you know, class-based stuff and race-based stuff. So you have to include some of the MMO elements, right? But yeah, as before says, you can have swift travel. Like, oh my gosh, having to walk all of this every time I wanted to do something would be a little frustrating. Although it is really funny because there are community events where they will walk a hobbit from, like, somebody will create a low-level hobbit, brand new hobbit, and they will walk from, like, the Shire to Mordor or to Minas Tirith. No, Isengard. I think they walk to Isengard. I think they're walking the hobbits to Isengard, I think is what the deal is. And that's like a yearly event, and I love that. I'm like, what a fun thing. Okay, so I haven't, like, I've been waxing here, poetic. So let me see what else you guys have said. Yes, I have been waxing, time to wane. Before says there is an end game experience that people have opinions on. Yes, opinions, trademark. But until you get to max level, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, there are people who will be doing like the end game raids and the end game content and stuff like that, and some of those people do have very strong opinions on what kinds of gear you should have, what kinds of armor you should have, what kinds of, you know, all the stuff that you should have, and all that. Now, you will often get people, especially brand new folks, who are like, well, what classes are needed in endgame? Basically the response you'll get from people is going to be twofold. One, it doesn't matter now, because by the time you get to endgame, it will be different. And two, it also doesn't matter because there's always a need for different classes at endgame, depending on what's going on. And you're going to do well if you play something that you enjoy playing. So play what you enjoy playing and then figure it out later. So really, that's, you know, that's the key with LOTRO. Enjoy the journey, enjoy playing what you want to play, and don't worry about, you know, what might be needed in the future or any of that. It'll work itself out. You're good. So let's see. Oh, the VIP thing. Yes. Before said, doing it for at least 1 month will unlock some permanent benefits for any characters who log on while you have it. So, oh, and you bought an MP Fans Route, Journeyman Writing. Journeyman Writing is so good, and you are a wise person for picking that up. The only way in which you'd been even wiser is if you'd waited for it to go on sale, unless you did get it when it was on sale, in which case, well done. So for the folks who are new, another thing to keep in mind is things go on sale every week. Every week, LOTRO has a sale of some sort. What's the sale right now? Oops, helps if I don't spell it with 2 A's. There we go. Oh, I don't know what's sale. Oh, you used near your 30. Oh, that is good. You got 30% off. That's a good call. Oh, maybe it's sales. I don't know. But anyway, every week there's stuff going on. And also every week, there you go. There's also a freebie code. Sometimes it's really cool. Sometimes you're like, whatevs. A simple rally horn is actually pretty useful. I have dozens of those things because we never use them. Every time I'm like, hey, why don't we use yes, I do. Why don't we use a rally horn? They're like, oh no, we can just get over land, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but now I have like stacks of 50 of these things. So don't be afraid to use the stuff that you get in your inventory. You can always get more. Let's see. So yeah, so an interesting thing also about VIP, I was just going to mention real quick, is that 1 month of VIP is, oh, you're dying. Let's get you, sorry. Your little DPS monster behind you is not paying attention. My bad. Oh, VIP. So 1 month will cost you like whatever it is, 15, 20, 10. We do yearly subscriptions now, and so the cost per month is actually pretty low. So I don't know what it is, but I do remember we were looking at this with a friend of ours a couple years ago, and she looked at getting 1 month for free. And I think we actually had a code from a previous expansion that we had bought that gave us a code for a free month. So we were able to give her that, which was cool. It was an older code. And then she was looking at buying a month, and then if you end up buying a second month, it basically is the same cost as if you bought 3 months. So if you're looking at 1 month, just do 1 month. If you're looking at 2, just go ahead and do 3, because it's basically the same price. You might as well just go ahead and get 3 months, and then you've got 3 months to figure it out. Yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. So B4 says 1 month is around 15 money per month. We are in euros. 3 months is about 10, and 12 months is about 8 money per month. So, I mean, you think about that. That's, people spend more than that on a coffee in a week. Easily. Maybe in a day. So, okay, so yes, we live in the Netherlands. Yes, we do. Let me come back to that in a second. Journeyman writing is amazing, by the way, and it will impact every single one. Yes, I'm at 6 of 10 also, thank you. Every single character you have now and will create in the future. So if a new race comes out and you're like, cool, I'm going to make a new character, I want to check that out, you got Journeyman writing. You're like, oh, hey, I've been wanting to make this. You'll get Journeyman writing. Every character you make from now on will get Journeyman writing. Absolutely worth it. So good. It would be wild not to have swift travel. After all, one does not simply walk into Mordor. Oh, Gantorin. Cafe B says Gantorin did a walk to Mordor. Yeah, I was going to say, I know I've seen advertisements for people walking to Mordor. So, what did you say? You take the hobbits to Isengard. Yeah, before it mentions that, I like to focus on things that are account-wide, like Journeyman writing and shared storage. Oh, we're jumping down? Okay.
Yeah, I think we've done all the top stuff.
That's fair. I have 6 banners still.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, we trapped.
Entirely possible that was a bad idea. Oh, okay. No slash stuck today.
Oh, good. There we are. Got out. Yeah, B4 says LOTRO lets me engage in the fantasy of hoarding all the things without having a messy house. Now, B4 does some really fantastic carry-all management. So that helps. And also, B4 also does carry-all management for me in that I give him my stuff and he puts it in his carry-alls. Okay, so anyway, friends, we do not sound Dutch because we were not born here. We are technically Dutch now. We have done the naturalization process and everything. But, yeah, we're not originally from here. We are originally from the U.S. So we do have very American accents still. And even my Dutch, I sound, yeah. I mean, I do okay. And we're in Gelderland, so I definitely have more of like an Arnhems accent than like Rotterdam or Amsterdam or anything like that. It's actually kind of funny. Oh yeah, like sometimes we'll be like hanging out with somebody who's from like Brabant or something, and I'm like, okay, that is a different accent. I mean, not like what's the one with the hearts? Oh, Friesland. Wow, some of the Frieslandic accents is like, wow. Weirdly enough, though, I still can pretty well understand it, which is so fun. Oh, you live next to Nijmegen. Okay, so we've been there, well, a number of times, really. I mean, it's on the train line, so. Like, we have some friends down in Den Bosch, so sometimes we'll take, like, you know, the train from Arnhem down to Den Bosch and then, you know, take the bus and whatnot from there. So, stuff like that. So I always think of it, it's like, you know, there's Arnhem, and then Nijmegen is like 15 minutes, and then whatever the next one is another 15 minutes. What? Os. And then Den Bosch is like 15 minutes, you know, so it's like, I figure it's like 45 minutes kind of in a way. Okay, Friesland is a different country. It's definitely a different language, Friesland. Yeah, so. Skagosi says B4 is a carry-all. Kind of sometimes. Very handy. I just give them all my stuff and I'm like, cool, my inventory's better. Although then it starts to clog up with a whole bunch of other stuff. So every once in a while I'm like, honey, can you come and work on my stuff for me, please? And then he just takes over my character and fix my stuff. B4 says, Kagosi, you misspelled B4 has a carry-all problem. I wouldn't call it a problem. I would say you have a very good carry-all solution. Like, what do you, how many do you have? Like 15 on this character, on this server? Now, okay, we did have, so there was recently a server consolidation. So those of you who are newer might not be well versed on this, but there were 10 servers, 5 on the EU side and 5 on the US side, that, and there were, people had characters on all these different servers. Those were the 32-bit servers, and they have since decided to, they've changed things and they opened up some 64-bit servers. They did a couple test ones. They worked out pretty good. So then they decided that for just all the regular playing worlds, they were going to make those into 64-bit servers, but they couldn't convert the 32s into 64s. So they just opened new 64-bit servers, told everybody to transfer, and then closed the old 32s. So 39 carryalls in shared storage and your inventory, and then one of your alts is storing extras in their vault. That's fantastic. That is hilarious. Anyway, so we had carryalls on many different servers because we would be playing on different servers for different reasons. But with the consolidation, we may have ended up with stuff. Oh yeah, I also have 9 out of 10. Hooray! I didn't miss any. Yeah, so now basically on the EU side, there's 2 regular servers and 1 roleplay encouraged server, and then the same thing for the US. So the one that we're on here, Peregrine, is on the US side, and that one is a roleplay encouraged server. So just so you know. Do we have more stuff to do here? Or was that all? Are we good? No?
That was the last one in Acronym.
Excellent. Portrait exit? Oh wait, we can't.
Actually,
There is no such thing. Do what? What? Which one? I can take us to Udun?
We could, yeah, take us to Udun.
Okay. I can do that. So, what was I going to say? Oh, and for those of you who are also new, just so you know, the reason when they talk about there's like the EU side and the US side on servers is because way back when LOTRO was new and the days were young. Oh, we're going to some ruins. Hang on a second. Ruins of Dingarth? Okay. There were actually physical separate servers. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago when the world was different. Now there's a lot of stuff where you can do a lot of stuff with networking where things can be far away from where they actually need to be doing the thing. But this was back in the day where you needed to have some more physical proximity to things. So anyway, there were actual physical servers in the US and in Europe. And then there were separate teams who worked on those 2 different ones. And so the Turbine had the ones in the US, and Codemasters had the ones in Europe. And so they coded things in a way that made a conflict if they tried to combine things. So unfortunately, it has to do with was it like ID number for items? I believe it is something like that. So there's not an easy fix for that. So even today, even though the LOTRO folks really, really, really want to solve this problem, they haven't been able to do so. So basically, if you have a character in the US ecosystem or in the EU ecosystem, they have to stay in that ecosystem. They can transfer to other servers within it, but they cannot transfer across, which is why we have characters both here and then over on Mary. So, Mary. So NPM Franz was saying Eindhoven after Den Bosch. Yeah, we never go past Den Bosch, though. It's like, I just don't need to, generally. I mean, we've been to Eindhoven. When we were first looking at when to, where we wanted to move, and we've been here like 7.5 years, and we were trying to figure out where we want to move to. We were like, well, where are the board gamers, and where is it interesting to live? Were pretty much kind of the 2 things we were looking at. And so one of the things we thought was really fascinating was the Hoven Ring, which, okay, this is not going to mean anything to anybody outside the Netherlands, but basically, how do I do this in a short way to say it? So the Netherlands is really good about bicycle infrastructure. You probably have heard that. And so they have bike lanes, kind of like, think of a sidewalk. So you've got like a road where the cars are, and then you've got like a little bicycle road, as it were, but it's about the size of a sidewalk. And then you've got like a sidewalk for the people who are walking. Generally, this is how it goes. But sometimes you have, so they solve bicycles and cars interacting with each other in creative ways. Sometimes you'll have roundabouts where the bicycles basically go around the roundabout and then they kind of go back onto their paths, so that one's cool. And they've set it up in a way that if a car is coming into the roundabout or leaving the roundabout, the bikes generally have priority and there's enough space for a car to sit and wait for a bicyclist to go by. Whoa, when did that turn? Why is it looking like that? That's fascinating. UI update.
You're not selected on the fellowship.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like the extra ring around it. That's fascinating. Anyway, okay, but sometimes they'll try to keep like the bicyclists and the cars separate from each other, which is even safer than just having these safe roundabouts and other ways to do it. So in Eindhoven, there's this huge intersection with cars coming in and multiple lanes of cars coming in, and it's high speed, and it's just not a safe place for bicycles or pedestrians at all. But bicycles do come through that area, so they're looking for a solution for this. So they created a ring. So you've got, on the ground, you've got the ring for the cars, and then they made a ring up in the air, which is the bicycle and pedestrian ring. So it's so cool. And so there's this like long on-ramps as a bicyclist that you take to get up there, and then you can just go around and then go back down on a nice long, easy to maneuver. So this would have been like 8 years ago, and I am not the most fit of people, but I managed to bicycle. I mean, I took my time, but I managed to bicycle up to the top and everything. So if I can do it, it's not too terrible. But I think I did get passed by somebody in a scooter, though. The mobility scooters, that you can use, like you might see them at grocery stores in the U.S. People here have them full time sometimes. And because the bicycle network is so good, you can use those on the bike network and actually get around to places, like get to the grocery store, get to, a restaurant, whatever. So, because they're battery operated, sometimes they're faster than me on the bike. I do not like fat bikes. They're so noisy. Yeah. And they're so fast. I don't think honestly, if a fat bike is, okay, this is a whole cultural thing. I'm sorry, y'all. Kind of going off on a tangent here. There's these things called fat bikes, which are basically, it's like a bicycle, but with the battery, I assume. I don't think it's a motor. But they have like really big, I'm knocked out for a second, so. Wake up, yo. Wake up, Hobbit. So fat bikes have these really fat tires, big, chunky tires, and they've got a lot of tread and stuff on them. Yeah, I can see them being really good in the snow. Like, they just have these chunky ass tires, very chunky tires. Anyway, sorry. So if you ever watch a person, there's a channel called Not Just Bikes, which talks about like cars and automobile roads and whatnot, and they focus on a lot of transit things like trains and stuff, not just bikes. But anyway, so one of the things that he says is it's not cars that are noisy, it's the tires. And that's the thing with fat bikes. Their tires are so big that on a bicycle path, they come along and they are very noisy. And the other thing is because they're not human powered, they're being done with like a motor or something, they go really fast. And it's usually teenagers that are on them. So there's definitely some, basically it's like a high risk situation that's created because you've got inexperienced people riding what is no longer a bicycle, but actually like a motor vehicle, a motorized vehicle as far as I'm concerned, and going really fast on a place where people should be going slow. So it's a recipe for problems, and it's not something that's been solved yet here. Because I'll tell you one thing the Dutch are really fantastic about is looking at a situation where things could go badly. So like in the US, if an accident happens, let's say a car and a bike run into each other, it's all about whose fault is it? Who's it blame, right? And then you go from there. And it has nothing to do with, like, the problem isn't the situation, the problem is who made a mistake, and they should be punished. Well, the Dutch take a different approach, in that, in general, it's about, like, okay, but how do we fix this so this doesn't happen in the future? Like, there's a attention paid to what caused this problem, because people make mistakes. Like, we all know that. People are human, humans make mistakes. It's just a thing. So what can we do to eliminate the human error element from this as much as possible? And I really appreciate that approach. I mean, nowhere's perfect, right? Like, they don't get it perfect every time. Look at that. That's so good. This ring around it. That's so cool. Sorry, I'm playing with the toy. All right. Anyway, so that's where fat bikes come in. So that's why mentioning fat bikes, boy, you'll get an earful. Anyway, okay, so let's get back to some LOTRO stuff. Oh yeah, and before did put a link to the Hobbit ring in case you're curious. Oh, MP Fans is also not fond of fat bikes. So, yeah. I get it. Yeah, and then before before and I have had these conversations before, so he basically said the same thing. Like, if fat bikes had normal sized tires, I wouldn't mind them, but they make so much road noise at 30 kilometers an hour. And yeah, MP Friends points out that fat bike is a bicycle with a battery. Now, I have an e-bike. I have a bicycle with a battery, but I don't, first of all, it's got normal sized tires. And second of all, I don't go above like 20 kilometers an hour. So if you hear me coming, I would be surprised. I don't make a lot of road noise. And intentionally so. I don't like the idea of making a lot of road noise. I don't want to startle people as I'm coming up to them. Well, honestly, I don't generally come up to people. They come up to me. They come up behind me. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go on to... Oops. Move over somewhere else. Yes, one does not simply fat bike into Mordor. There we go. Do I need to cleanse you of something? Yeah, you've got something going on. Okay, so let's cleanse you. You need to heal yourself, babe. Okay. Okay. We want to leave here. Okay. Should I take us to Udun, or are we riding? Oh, okay. Okay. We're getting out of here. So why do we know so much about the Netherlands? I think because when we were figuring out where we wanted to go, we were kind of looking at, like, if we have the whole world available to us, where do we want to go? And then we started narrowing it down from there based on, like, where would we feel comfortable? Where could we get a visa? Where did we feel like we could integrate? Where did we feel like there'd be interesting things? Like all of these different elements you're considering. And the Netherlands is like kind of middle of Europe, middle of Western Europe kind of area. And so it's really easy to get to places like, you can get a train to Paris and like we can be there in like 6 hours or something. We've gone to Germany a bunch of times, sometimes for business stuff even. So it's like so I've gotten to the point where I'm very blasé about just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go over to Germany for something. Like, it's so crazy. And especially where we live, people are like, I'll just pop over to Germany for some groceries, or gas is expensive here in the Netherlands, I'm gonna drive over to Germany to fill up my car, things like that. It's so funny. We were like, well, let's start with the Netherlands, and then we'll figure out, where we want to go from there. And the longer we were in, like every month we were in the Netherlands, we would come up with things that we were like, honey, have you seen how they do this over here? Have you seen how they do this? Have you seen? And we just fell more and more in love with the Netherlands to the point where we're like there was times when we were like, because we had thought, well, maybe we'll end up in Germany long term, maybe we would end up in France, maybe some other place would surprise us. We got to the point where like we would go to Germany and then we'd come back and we're like, oh, thank goodness we're back in the Netherlands. It's just really funny. I mean, Germany's not bad. It's not home. The Netherlands feels like home. And so we're very glad to be here. Yes, Nederland past ons goed. Isn't it? Is it past? Is that plural?
Is it the Netherlands plural?
No, but we are plural.
What is direct object? What is subject?
All right. Haha, goed om te horen. Leuk. So yeah, it's one of my goals actually to do like an all Dutch stream at some point. I thought we would do it like when we passed our exams, because in order to apply for citizenship, we had to take some exams. We had to do a spoken, like all exam. We had to do a writing exam, reading, listening, and then a one about culture. And what was that one? Nederlands maatschappij, thank you. Anyway, so yeah, I thought, well, once we passed those, I was like, oh, we should do a Dutch, Dutch only stream. But I mean, we don't, like, I still forget a lot of words, right? So it would be a pretty janky one. But we could do it now that we have the 2 cameras set up. We could, that would be fun. I'm still pushing for it, so that's what I'm saying. I think it would be fun. Although, I guess it depends on how the Dutch feel about it. Like, you guys might be like, oh my gosh, just switch to English, would you please? That is one of the things that's funny here, because now this is back when we were first starting, and our Dutch was pretty janky. And our pronunciations weren't great, that sort of thing. So we would try to say things, and then so the Dutch are known for being really good at English, like some of the best English as a second language, or as not their primary language, people in the world. So especially in Europe. So we would go to like a store, and we'd be trying to, ik wil graag een koffie, alstublieft. And people are like, yeah, we'll get you a coffee. Like, they just respond immediately. Oh, hey, there's rubble down here. Did you touch the rubble?
Yeah,
Okay. I forgot to touch the rubble first. I was touching everything else. So yeah, when your Dutch is bad, they just respond in English. And then they're like, well, how come aren't you fluent in Dutch? I'm like, well, I'll give you a couple reasons. One is which it's hard sometimes to learn another language. It's also, you need to have time practicing a language, and we don't always have it. Glamour? Woohoo! I have to say, I'm really enjoying playing Blue Line on the Hobbit, on Hunter. I've been Red Line for so long with the Hunter, but then when they made changes, like they did a big Hunter class revamp, like 4 months ago or something, and at that point, yeah, I had to redo all my specs, and some things had changed, and they moved things around, and blah, blah. So Redline wasn't doing for me what it had been. And on Saturdays, we play with a group, and so just having the mobility of the Blue Line turned out to be pretty useful, and I've just stuck with it because the mobility has been so good, because otherwise you are spending a lot of time. It feels like the inductions on Redline just are too much. It's too much, man. So, whereas the Blue Line doesn't really have inductions. So even though I may be doing less damage, because the Red Line is more of a glass cannon, so theoretically I'm doing less damage, but I feel like I'm doing more damage because I'm not waiting through the inductions. All right. Ja. So before talking about Dutch. Ik voel me dat A2 of iets is niet goed genoeg, maar het komt langzaam. So before I was saying that, like the A2, the A2 level of language is pretty low. It's like you can give directions, like, you know, go down this street, turn right at the first right. It's on the right hand side, like that kind of a direction. Or if somebody asks you, like, what time is it?
We didn't come quick.
Okay. If somebody says, what time is it? You can answer that. Things like that. That's what the A2 level is. But we aren't at that. We're more at the B2 level, which is, yeah. So I definitely want to get into being more confident and having a wider vocabulary. And I don't practice often enough with words that I don't use on a regular basis. So that's my own fault. That's one of the reasons why I'm not at the C1 level. And I'm much better at talking than I am at listening. Like and that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound good. Lots of people have that problem, especially older folks. No, but what I mean, like, I can say things and be understood, but when people are saying things back to me, I don't always understand what they've just said. Not precisely. I get the gist of it, but I might not understand exactly what they just said, and that's frustrating. But I do volunteer stuff and, you know, whatnot. Oh, we have another glamour. Is it the same person? Cool. Okay. Yeah, so we were like, well, we want to live somewhere where English isn't the primary language because that will force us to, you know, learn it and use it. Which we do. Like, we were, just like I said, we were at a board gaming weekend this past weekend, and it was all Dutch. Like, the organizers, everything was in Dutch. But our friends and a lot of people do know English. So there's times when we just, like, pop into English for things, and then it gets more and more of a habit, and so forth. You know how it goes. So there was, like, an opening thing where they were saying, like, kind of catching us up on some news pieces and whatnot, the organizers were, and I did not realize some of the things that they had said, and so I was talking with somebody about this later on the weekend, and they're like, yeah, they said that at the beginning. I was like, oh, I didn't catch that. So stuff like that. Dark Empress 13 says, hello, nice to meet you. I just woke up, must have come in with a raid, but I couldn't say whose. No worries. Before says hello, and hello from me as well. It was probably the raid earlier by SlackJeff would be my guess. So, well, welcome. Glad to have you here. That's okay if you don't know how you got here. So yeah, so we're playing some Lord of the Rings Online. We are doing some about 115, 120 level stuff. Actually, yeah, what does it say on my stuff? Yeah, 115. So we're doing some 115 level questing for when Mordor was the end of the game, when that was the last expansion. This was some of the end game content, which is you go and meet some allegiances. So we're going to go to a character, and then we're going to go to allegiances, and you get this this panel here, and you can, you know, pledge to them to help out as we are making Mordor a safer place for the free peoples, and then they send you off on quests to go do a bunch of stuff. So, and they have like daily things you can go and do. So that's what we're doing, is we're working on some of the daily quests that they have available for us today. And we've gone ahead and said hello to all 4 of the factions. So we're doing stuff that helps, you know, one or the other, but they often overlap in terms of like where you're going and stuff. So it's just easy enough to pick up a bunch of stuff and then just run around and do them all together. So that's what we're working on.
Well, I noticed that we were missing the Slayer, so we're also...
Oh yeah, and Slayer Deeds. Because why not? I'll tell you why not. Because we're at like an hour and 50 on my stream, so probably want to wrap it up in the next 15-ish minutes or so. Because I wouldn't mind getting some dinner. Dark Empress says, I don't know who SlackJeff is, but sure. Well, maybe you got dumped into there, who got dumped into there, who got dumped into here. Well, welcome. So where you are now is on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream. So this is the official Lord of the Rings Online Twitch channel. So you're always welcome to come back here anytime. So I'm Little Redhead. Playing Affadil on stream with me over there is B4, who's in the chat, and is also a streamer here. Neither of us are SSG employees, just FYI. In fact, yeah, most of the people who stream on the official are not SSG employees. We're just fans of the game who jump on here on a regular schedule and, you know, help out with, I don't know, supporting the game, I guess, in that respect. Oops, I shot that guy when you probably didn't care. There we go. Aw, we didn't find anything there either. So yeah. Now I do have a Twitch channel, of course. Little Redhead, probably, or Hard. Yeah, Little Redhead 42 is probably me. Yeah, that. Thank you. Thanks, Moobot. But I'm hardly ever there. Once in a blue moon, I will stream stuff over there. But usually I'm just here, because I'm here every week. So it just makes sense to just stream here if I'm going to. But I do take my streams and I cross-post them over onto my Life Beyond the Shire YouTube channel. So if you ever miss something, or you want to see what we're doing, or whatevs, you can catch all of my streams over there. Now they're not heavily sorted. Thankfully they're not sorted either. We keep it pretty PG friendly. But I mean to say that is like they're almost all just lumped under like Lord of the Rings Online team streams. So that's where you'll find these that I've been doing on. Oh hey, we defeated the Glimmer occupants in the towers. All right. Wow, that's a bunch of stuff that we just finished. Wow. Nice. All right. Oh, Virtue Cap Reach. Hang on, let me fix that real quick. Sure, we'll do that one. Spread the love. Spread the love. Which ones? Got a deed. Got a title. Heroine of the Plateau. More deed stuff. Cool. Cool. All right. So what next? I've only got 3 of those artifacts.
Well, we could keep getting them.
And the rubble.
The thing over here was for each of the 10 unique quests.
Oh yeah.
Getting those done.
Let's turn in a. Did we do 4 Allegiance quests in Udun and Talith Uri?
We're not in Mordor, so not yet.
Okay. That'd be nice to knock that out, because that's a daily, so, you know.
Well, yeah, take us to Mordor.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Udun Foothold. Let's go there. Cool. So yeah, so if anybody has anything in the chat, so I pretty much focus on, in my streams, kind of the vibe is I generally focus on festivals, if there's a festival going on. And if there's no festival going on, I generally tend to do kind of like some off the beaten path content. So maybe daily stuff, or maybe missions. Sometimes I do some bingo boffin stuff, things like that. Try to find something just a little different than, what's that? Oh, I gotta do the door, sorry. Why don't I do that before we take him out? Okay, I have attempted to open locked doors 1 out of 6. Sorry, I forgot I was supposed to also click the door before we defeated that guy.
You think one would be enough?
Yeah. So funny thing. Okay, so what we just encountered here is both of us have the quest to click on these locked doors, and But what we discovered in situations like that, like if Affodil clicks on the door and then we defeat the thing that comes out, and I haven't clicked on the door, then we still need me to click on the door and defeat the thing that comes out. However, if Affodil clicks on the door, something comes out, and then I click on the door while that thing is still alive, we don't get another one. We get just that first one. So here, Affodil's clicking on the door. There's a thing. So now I'll click on the door because he's still alive, that archer. And now this archer accounted for me for that door. So that's just something to like keep in mind when you're doing questing together in a fellowship, that sometimes you can just like knock it out for both of you, which is nice, or everybody. Sometimes though, each person has to like just like spawn a new thing, and then you have to wait and you have to defeat that thing. Sometimes you can click on it and it spawns one. Every next person clicks on it, spawns one. Next one clicks on it, spawns one. Next, and now you've got like 6 different things coming after you. Which maybe that's what you want. I don't know. Sometimes that can be convenient. Oh, yeah. See, in that case, I clicked on it. We defeated the thing, and now Affodil clicked on it after we defeated the thing, so we had to do it all over again. So there's a little example for you. So, yeah. So let's see. Oh, Jaywalk Gaming says this was my first MMO you tried in 2019. That's when I started playing. Was also in 2019. Was in January of 2019. That's when we started playing this. We got settled in the Netherlands, and I was like, hey, let's play something together. So Dark Empress says, I bet that gets annoying with the clicking on and then having to wait for the other thing or defeating the other thing. It's really funny when we have like a group of us, when there's like, 5 of us, and then some people don't realize that they haven't clicked on it. And so then you'll have like, we'll be like, hey, did everybody do it? It's like, oh, no, I didn't do one yet. It's like, oh, okay, we'll do it again. Aw, Jaywalk Gaming says, didn't get deep into it, it got lonely. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, possibly good news for you are a number of things that my understanding is over the years they have made more and more of the game solo friendly. So at least there's that. Also, though, we just recently had a server consolidation. I keep calling it consolidation. Technically, it wasn't a consolidation. Technically, but it acted as one. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, exactly. Because they opened up a few servers to accommodate the people on all the various disparate servers. And so we all ended up clumped from basically 5, 6 servers to basically 3 in each area. So there's 6 servers total, plus the 2 legendaries at the moment. But eventually the legendaries will catch up, and then they'll probably close. That'd be my guess. Yeah, historically, every legendary server that has opened, once it reached the level to which the game currently is at, they've gone ahead and closed those. So generally that'll happen. But anyway, so Jaywalk Gaming, the nice thing for you is that if you jump back in on these new servers, there's more people, so there's more people running around. There's also a bit of like shuffling around that's happened. So people are like looking for people to join their kinships. So because kinships are the the guild that you can join, the group that you can exist in. And so there's more people looking or welcoming new people in, and then there's also more people online at any given time than there used to be. Yeah, as B4 points out, there's currently around 450 non-anonymous people on Peregrine where we are right now. All right, let's open this hatch. Cool. I got 1 hatch. Oh, yeah, 2. So if you get back into it, you might find some people to play with, and then you don't have to be alone. Well, what? This guy's cackling at me. Did you hear that? That was something. Oh yeah, Ginjar says there's like 830 on Glamdring right now. So yeah, that's true. We're playing on the Roleplay Encourage servers, which generally have a lower population. We're also on the US one right now, and it's like, what, middle of the day, so folks are probably at work and stuff. Here's a hatch right here, honey.
Oh, this one back here.
Oh, we missed one back there. Okay. Fair enough. Car? Okay. Yep. Yeah, so we tend to play on the Roleplay Encourage servers because I just like the vibe there a lot better. And I'm often doing more role playing, and I'm also often participating in like the or attending the social events, like music events and stuff like that. So that's I'm not really looking for like hardcore gaming, you know, or anything like that, or you know, my questing is pretty light. Like even when we're questing, I mean, I'm here for the story, not for the combat. So the roleplay servers are perfect for me. All right, I'm at 7 out of 8. Perfect. Anyway, so the other thing I was going to say about my streams, and I think before would say this about his as well, is that they're very like beginner friendly. They're very like questions welcome friendly. Very much like there's no dumb questions. Like feel free to ask anything. Even if you're like, wow, you know, on some streams you might have somebody be like, well, everybody already knows this. Why are you asking this or whatever? Like, no, there's none of that here. Like, you know, ask a question. I'm going to answer it in good faith. So, yeah, feel free to explore, enjoy. Yeah, be part of the community. Peace and love, man. It's my hippie side coming out. Okay, so here's the thing we got to do where there's some elves and stuff that need some food along here. But here's a cool thing. So I'm going to give this elf some food. And then I'm going to be like, hey, can I give you some food for somebody else? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I have now completed my give elf food twice. I mean, it technically says, like, give water skins to thirsty elf warriors in Udun. It does say warriors, but I may choose one, and I just give them a bunch of water, and I ask them to go give it to their friends. So this one desires drink, so I'm going to be like, here's a water skin, and here's another water skin. Go share it with your friends. So we appreciate quests where we can do that. Now, of course, we're just riding right by the ones we could have seen, but that's okay. We could have given them those too as well, I guess. And then we're going to give some helpful and encouraging words to the next one. All right, so go encourage your friends. And be encouraged yourself. Woohoo! Because the last one's right there. We could have gone over and said, encouraging words. So always look for that, man. If there's a chance where you need to do something a bunch of times, always try to see if you can do the same thing multiple times. This is very important if you do the Yule Festival, which just ended like a month ago. So you got to wait another 11 months for that to come around. But, or 10. There's a quest at the Yule Festival. Yes, it's the Yeti principle. So there's a quest at the Yule Festival where one of the guards in town, who's actually kind of a jerk, but he wants you to go out and spread cheer to the Yetis by cheering at them while they're sleeping. So you basically ride out there and you wake them up and you cheer at them. And then the Yeti gets up and is like, and walks over and lays back down and tries to go back to sleep. And there's like 3 Yetis in the forest. And so a lot of people will go cheer at one, ride over, wait, cheer at the other one, next one, and then ride over and cheer at the third one. But you can software engineer this and cheer at one Yeti 3 times. So as long as you do it kind of quickly, so it's kind of like get up to the Yeti, make sure you got him, you know, selected, and then you're like, cheer, pause, cheer, pause, cheer. And in that amount of time, they get up and they stretch and then they start walking off. By the time they start walking off, you can no longer cheer at them. They're not interactable. But the Yeti, you can cheer at 3 times if you do it in a row like that. And then, yeah. And then that's pretty cool because then you don't have to go annoy the other Yetis, and I appreciate that. Here we go. So Matthew X says hello, or says woo. So hello. Or maybe that's a cheer. Cheer. Or is it that way? This is my head, so the cheer is oh.
It's like
Waving an arm. One of these days, I was thinking it might be really funny to do like a little video with me doing the Hobbit emotes, like editing it. But so like how you do like how the Hobbit flip. Have you ever seen this? Hang on, we got to do a Hobbit flip real quick. Hang on. For those of you who haven't seen the Hobbit flip, it's super adorable. Here, let me walk up so we're near each other. All right, ready? So you go ba-doomp, ba-doomp, and then ta-da! Here, do it one more time so I can focus on you for a second. And then there's kind of like this at the end, which is so cute. So we're like, I thought it would be funny to have me, the human being, you know, doing some of these Hobbit emotes, you know, like charge, and you know, that would be really funny. I don't know if we'll ever get around to it, but it amuses me in my head.
Did you see this one?
Which one?
Jazz hands.
Oh, you got jazz hands. Oh, weird. You bend over a lot for it. Almost like you're saying boo. Like, woo.
Creepy hands.
It's creepy hands. Or a tickle. It almost looks like a tickle. Interesting. So Jaywalk Gaming asks, how is it that you can stream on the LOTRO Twitch channel? Are you a partner with them or something? I am not. So I was putting together little videos and posts about how to do things in festivals. Not anything anywhere near as like, like Fibro Jedi is somebody in the community who has in the past put together some very in-depth posts about how to do things in the festival. What I was doing was putting together some videos of like when you do the Halloween style festival, there's a quest that you have to do to get access to the Haunted Burrow. And so, you know, we did a video before and I where like my character went through that process and I narrated how to go through that process. And then we've done videos on, you know, various festival things. And so kind of like how-to videos on how to navigate different things. So I was already like creating resources for the community, and I like doing that. I enjoy doing that, and but I hadn't really gotten into streaming, and there was a point where Cordovan was looking for more streamers, and I said, well, I really enjoy doing festivals, so I could, you know, come on and stream the festivals and do that like, you know, once a week while the festivals are running. And he said, hey, that sounds great. So, yeah, so I started doing that, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago now. Maybe longer. I think I have it on the calendar that when my LOTRO anniversary is, I think it's actually in the spring. I think it's coming up, which reminds me, I might try to, we'll have to check when that is and see about doing like a giveaway stream or something, because those are always fun. I like giving stuff away. And I can get some codes from Cord to give away on the stream. So anyway, so yeah, so I reached out to Cord and I said, well, here's what I have done in the past and I would be interested in streaming on your channel. And he looked at, you know, the work I had done, and he already was familiar with some of it anyway, and was like, yeah, he thought it would be a good fit. And so I started streaming. And so it was so funny because my intention was I would just stream on the weeks that festival was going. And then on the weeks in between, I would not. I would just, you know, just not show up for this. But, you know, there is that thing about if you show up regularly, other people will show up regularly. And I got to the point where, yeah, there was times when people were like, oh, are you not going to be here? You know, that makes me sad or whatever. So I started also looking at other things that I could do on stream. And so some of my early streams, we did some like bingo boffin stuff. I did, what did I talked about where to find some things in the game, like where to find like the curator, who that is, what do they do? I mean, you know, just little things to help players find or understand things. And so for a while I would like have a list and be like, oh, I should show people how to create new chat tabs, or, you know what I mean? Like, or how to, well, this is before carry-alls, but, you know, how to use a carry-all, or, you know, whatever. And then it got to a point where I was like, well, I'll just find something else to stream that, you know, like, so anyway, it's just become a habit. So I just stream every week now. And when I don't have a festival going on, I find something else to do. But I definitely enjoy kind of being more of the, like, not just streaming whatever the most current content is, because there are people who are definitely doing that, and I feel like I don't need to duplicate that. I'm having a lot more fun going into things that might not be heavily streamed right now. So yeah, so like the Mordor expeditions, like before says how to do the Mordor expeditions. Like this is our third week in a row that we have been doing these expeditions. So, you know, if somebody is like curious how to do this, your health, by the way. There we go. You don't see me. Both of our health, though. Oh, that archer saw you. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but you'll want to tick that up a little bit there. Yeah, so this is okay, though, because, like, I figure 3 weeks in a row, if somebody's really interested in this stuff, they can, if they find one of the three, maybe we'll do 4, maybe we'll do it again next week, then they can just, you know, watch the videos and get some ideas on how to do it. And we end up talking about other stuff during the stream, too. Like, a lot of times the UI skin I'm using will come up, and so we'll have a conversation about, you know, how to use that and how to, where to find it, how to plug it in, all those sorts of things. CR TV Deck says, oh, you're in my server. Yes. I'm in your server attacking your device. Yeah, you're attacking your mobs. Oh, crumbs. I think I hit the wrong guy. Sorry. Yeah, but I didn't want to do it while we were still recovering from the other guys. These guys are a little, these guys hit a little heavier. Also, I think we're in a high, yeah, this is a high Shadow of Mordor area. So in Mordor, where we are, like, we are in the Plateau of Gorgoroth in Mordor. That's where we're hanging out right now. Oops, somehow I wasn't with you. There's this thing called the Shadow of Mordor, which is like a, yes, where the shadows lie. I don't know, I feel like the shadows are telling the truth here. They're really hitting us. There's a thing called the Shadow of Mordor, which is an effect that you have on you, and it is somewhat like the fear, right? That fear effect. The orange bar that you can sometimes get, where it takes away some of your health and stuff. So this Shadow of Mordor has similar effects where it can reduce how good you are, you know, how effective you are. It can reduce your max morale, stuff of that sort. So we are dealing with that. It's higher in this area than it is in other parts of Mordor. So that's why these things are hitting us harder than some of the other things were. Okay, so Captain, you want to say? Okay, sure. There's also one the other way, but this works good too. We are not, oh, we're servants of Morgor. No, we're here for the free peoples. You ready to go in for the captain?
Came up the other side.
Oh. Oh, yeah, he is. How funny. I totally did not even see him there. Okay, there's another one. Yeah, over there. Okay. So yeah, oh, hang on, let me do a search and then I'll say some words. Captain, you say? Here's one. Okay, okay. The other way. So as before says, if streaming on this channel is something that interests, if this is something that interests someone, send a message to Kodroven with your ideas for streaming on the channel and, links to, examples of your work, stuff like that. Because the schedule isn't full. There's room. Okay. Yeah, there's room for more streamers in the schedule. So if it's something that, interests you, definitely reach out to Cord. Cool. It's 5 out of 5 for me. Yes, am I ready to say hi to gravity? No, but I guess I will. I don't want to die. Oops, this is okay. Well, okay. Hang on. All right, I made it down. So these guys are gray to us, which is great. Those guys up on top were not. That's less fun. You injured yourself in a fall. Yes, I recognize that. Yes, we're free hobbits of the Shire. Free! I'm free. Which add-ons would you suggest? I see you use a lot of them. That is true. I am a bit of a plugin addict. So, just looking at my screen, the stuff at the top here, this bar with all this extra little bits of information, that's called Titan Bar. And I'm very much a fan of Titan Bar. So I definitely recommend that. So Moobot has put into the chat there a link to LOTROinterface.com, which is where a lot of LOTRO plugins are kept. None of this is official LOTRO stuff though. But some years ago, one of the LOTRO developers had kind of like a pet project where some of the way the game, some of the information that the game has about you, like how much money do you have on your character, you generally don't have access to that information, right? But one of the devs was like, hey, what if players could have access to that information and then people could develop plugins using the access to that information? And that's called the Lua API, as before has said there. And so there's certain information of what's going on with your character in Lord of the Rings Online that is in that Lua. That's that's in the API. Lua is the language. And so the plugin developers can take some of that and mold it into these fun plugins. So I really like the way Titan Bar, the information it gathers for me, and the way it displays that for me. Fun thing though is that API has not been updated since that developer because it was kind of a pet project and they're no longer there, and so there's nobody adding stuff to that. Oh hey, there's a spy. Well, I guess, yeah, okay, some limited stuff like new classes and new races. All right, do we need to click together?
Click the forge.
All right, click in the forge. That's right, we want to do it separate so we get more of them. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so even though it's not official LOTRO stuff, it's using stuff that LOTRO has provided. So then it just comes down to, do you trust the person who's created the plugin not to do something bad to your machine? So if you are ever worried about that, you can go with like plugin developers that you trust, who have put stuff out previously, for example. You can also use the LOTRO Plugin Compendium, and that's a way to like add plugins to your stuff, and those have all been pretty well vetted. So, but LOTROinterface.com is like the full list of all the LOTRO plugins out there that I know of. I'm pretty sure they're a warehouse for that, and it's really, they got a lot of great stuff. So, and B4 points out that plugins are isolated by LOTRO in a sandbox. So about the worst thing they can do is crash your LOTRO client. Well, that's fair. Yeah, they shouldn't be able to damage your computer or anything like that. But just kind of like an overview about plugins there, in case there's anybody who's like, what's the plugin? Wait a minute, how does it have access to this stuff? What? So normally B4 does a stream after me called Plugin Along, where he will work on doing some plugin development. But we're kind of still working on this, and so I think what we might end up doing, we're just kind of communicating on the side here. What we may end up doing is just keep going with my stream. Hang on, I'm on fire. Oops, I just healed you and not me. That's hilarious. I'll just go get this rusty chest while I'm standing here. So we might just, keep going on my stream, and he might not do his plugin stream today. So I might chat about plugins a little bit more than usual, and just for the plugin community. But yes, okay, so what else do I use? Yes, I use V4's plugin called Deed Tracker, which I love it. It's this little guy here, and if you are using so if you look at the deed log in the game, the Deed Tracker, he set it up to mimic a lot of the same location where you find things. Oops, I just shot the wrong person. So like, for example, class race epic is class race epic. And the 5 tabs, class, race, social, blah, 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 those are 1, 2, 3, 4. And then allegiances are on the bottom here. I don't know where they are in the regular deed log. Maybe they aren't at all. So anyway, so skirmish is here with the 2 tabs, and so forth. So the deed tracker, because it's able to access some really good information, has, hang on, let me pull it back up again now that I'm not on fire. So if you're like, hey, how am I doing in my, class, race, and epic deeds? It's like, oh, okay, I've got 86% done here, but I've only done 10% of the reputation stuff I could do, and so forth. Or maybe I'm like, man, I really could use some LOTRO points. Where can I get some LOTRO points? Well, in total, there's 14,000 LOTRO points available to me in the game, but maybe some of it's a little harder to get or whatever. So maybe it's like, what's available on this page? Oh, okay, there's 3,000 LOTRO points that I could still go and figure out, here. Or maybe I'm like, hey, is there anything in Eriador I could go do and get some LOTRO points? Stuff like that. I feel like something's not right here. My information is zeros, and that's not true. I think we need to do an import just to make sure it all is there. Yeah. So there's another fun thing is your information exists in files on your computer. So because I was just looking at my deed tracker and there's stuff missing, so I can do an import of my information into that. And B4 has all the details about how to walk you through how to do that on, I think is it on my Life Beyond the Shire website? Might be. Yeah. So, okay, so Travel Window 2, yes, is also, okay, so I think those are my 3 favorites, are Titan Bar, Deed Tracker, and Travel Window 2. Those are probably my favorites. Travel Window 2 is this little suitcase over here on the far end over there. So you click on it, and you can have it set up in multiple ways. I'm using the map version. For a long time, oh, hang on. I was using, so if you right click on it, you can get a different set of menu things. So filters, which I'm not worried about, mode. So for a long time, I used the icon grid, which looks like this. And I was always struggling to find things, and I would set things in a very particular order and all of these things. And I was informed by one of the developers a couple of weeks ago that this mode of map might suit me better, and indeed I agree that it does. So now I use this map view, which is freaking awesome, and I can just click on the icon and it works. And it's set up in only 5 maps, so it's really easy to use because there's like Eriador, and then Rovanian, Rohan, Gondor, which includes Mordor, and then the new Hradwaith area. And this is so good. I started using it like that following weekend, and I love it. Like, this is perfect for me. There's also a setting in the options because as I'm a hunter, and so I always want the guide to skill. I never want to see the return to skill that just takes me. If I have a guide to skill where I can take my entire fellowship, hang on, I got to put the shield on the wall. The shield wants to watch me go attack things. Okay, so now the shield's going to watch me and Affadil go attack some things, but we got to go in this big door. Hang on. Okay. I'm going to let Affadil do a bunch of the attacking while I show you that map again. So there are, okay, so like, for example, over in Eriador, like in Bree, right? So I've got my guide to Bree skill, but I'm a hobbit, and so I'm able to get full reputation with Men of Bree and get the travel to Bree skill for free, right? But I never want to use that because I always want to take all my people with me. Even though the other location is slightly better when you arrive, but whatever, it's okay. So there's a setting in that plugin. So if I go to options, okay, so under enable, if you're like a hunter, and I think this also applies to,
Mariners.
yeah, probably mariners and, oh my gosh. Yeah, the one that could muster. Captains, I think. Is that right? Anyway, the one that could muster. Where you get those travel skills for free. Hang on, let me grab the shield. There's this disable overlapping and enable overlapping. Okay, so hold on. So, did I get that good? Bring the shield. Yes, okay. Anyway, so I was able to choose the one that I wasn't on, and that got rid of the second skill. Warden, thank you. CRTV says Warden. That was right, thank you. Oh, am I taking us somewhere? Okay, I can do that. So here, I'm going to use the little map. I'm going to go to Gondor, and the Udun Guide to Udun Foothold, so it's a Guide to skill, and boom. I also chose the setting in the options to close the map when I'm traveling, because as soon as I click on that thing, I don't want the map in my way. I want to see if I've traveled or not. So I went ahead and chose that setting also.
Let's ride over to
Come.
Mordor.
Okay. Magastu. So yeah, so I really love that one. B4 has a Discord server where he and other plugin developers talk to each other and stuff. And I'm in it, but I don't check it very often. But it's a great place to like. Now, mostly it's plugin developer speak stuff going on, but I think you can also like get information there about stuff like that. Oh, JWalk Gaming asked if I play DDO, and I did not answer that question. The answer is I have played it. I created an account. Yeah, as before just said, for a hot minute. Because, okay, so Druid's Fire, who is also a streamer here on this channel, and she's been doing this way longer than I have. And she's also over on DDO. And so I went ahead and joined it and got some of the freebie stuff that they were giving away at the time because they were doing some big codes, and I was like, cool. I got signed up for it, and I joined her guild or faction or whatever it's called over in DDO, and I haven't logged in probably like 4 years. So I have played way more Dungeons and Dragons than DDO. And honestly, I haven't even played Dungeons and Dragons anytime recently. So yeah. Do you play DDO, Jaywalk Gaming? Is that something you enjoy? All right, what are we doing here?
Typing the north and interactive things.
North. This north?
Yeah, we're doing a fighting chance.
Let me pull that up. Doing something called a fighting chance. All right. And that means defeat foes 12 and destroy orcish barriers 8. I see a barrier, but I see foes. So I think we're going to have to deal with these foes first. Before says, I played DDO for a bit when it first came out. I had an affection for Eberron and a group to play with, but I let it go when life got busy. Oh, Jaywalk says, I played it for a little while, but the same thing happened with LOTRO, got lonely. That's a shame. Yeah. Oh, wait. There's a... Nope, those are regular stuff. Okay. I was just checking if there's something back there to click on to do. Hey, babe. This is Kato. She would really like me to give her my lap and not be having my arms across it. But she may be a little bit sad, because that's probably not going to happen. But you can come sit here if you want, babe. Let's see. CRTV says, I really like LOTRO so much, but I never played DDO. I mean, DDO is also a really good game, and it's the same people. It's SSG. They just have the 2 games. So they're able to really focus in on those 2. I don't know. It just didn't really scratch that itch for me. And I think, I don't know, there's just something about playing in LOTRO, the immersiveness of it. I really enjoy that. Which is kind of funny because I really do like playing D&D and Pathfinder, and you know, I mean, I'm into RPGs, but I don't know, for some reason DDO just really wasn't what I was looking for, I guess. I don't know. And you know what, honestly, in LOTRO, I feel like half the time it's the social stuff that I'm really focusing on anyway. Like, we do questing. We have like a Saturday group that we quest with every week. Which is nice. I do appreciate that consistency, and it tends to be a small group. Like there's 4 of us and that are active right now, you know, and occasionally like we'll get somebody new and then they'll be active for a while, and then like at one point we had so many people we were like, well, it looks like we're breaking into 2 fellowships, like we're a raid for a little while, but then it tapers back off. People get busy, you know, they have kids, whatever. So this is where we came from, by the way.
Yeah, but
okay.
We got all the stuff to the north.
Okay. Stuff to the north.
Stuff in the north.
Let's see. Well, there's another chest over here I could click on. I'll do that.
At this point, we only need the barriers here.
Yeah, I know we only need the barriers, but I think we have to go through baddies to get to the barriers, don't we?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of ants.
Yeah.
There's 2 doors out.
Okay, I'll just follow you. So let's see. Oh, I gotta click on a barrier. Hang on. CRTV says, I really like LOTRO so much, but I never played DDO. Maybe someday I'll give it a try. Jaywalk Gaming I got more freebies and stuff on DDO than I do on LOTRO, so I'm open to returning to it. Nice. Pretty kitty. Dark Empress says you're a pretty kitty, Kato. We have 2 cats. Kato is, well, you saw the top of her walking by. And then Casper is still sleeping next to me here on the couch. So I don't know that you'll see him. Once in a while he walks back and then comes back across. We shall see if he makes it back across again. Yeah, at one point for, I don't know, a couple of years ago, my desk was set up so we had a second camera, and Kato was always sleeping in the same spot, so we set up a cat TV, or cat cam, to capture her during my streams. And my setup seems a little bit more static again. Like every so often, I'm like, I want to change it because of the way the sun comes in, and you want to remove glare, but I also want to be able to see out the windows, and like just kind of managing things around. And I don't want to be too close to the windows in the winter because it gets cold, but all these things. So I think my setup is pretty static now, though. So we might set up a cat cam again. And then you guys could see the kitties a little bit more often, which is lovely. Before I said something about having trouble switching from character control in LOTRO versus DDO and so forth. Yeah, I guess that was part of it. Is like, so my MMO experience was like, I had played some other games like, oh gosh, Breath of the Wild, listen. Diablo. I played like Diablo 3, actually, is where I started. And I enjoyed that. And I was like experimenting with playing the different, types of classes. So that was fun. Sorry, I started a fight over here. Okay. He's down. But I wasn't like hugely adept at, moving my character around and doing all this stuff. And I also had played Titan Quest for quite a while. But I always found that I got to the higher, like, I think there's like a first age, a second age, third age, something like that. And so like that third section just confounded me. I never could get past it, which was a bummer because I was really enjoying the storyline, right? So it wasn't until we started playing LOTRO, and we were playing it together, and that makes a huge difference, I've discovered, because there'd be times when I'm like, oh, and I dipped my toe in WoW, but I really did not enjoy that at all. Like, it just, I don't know, it didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, where am I supposed to be going? What am I supposed to be doing? Like, it's not giving me enough information here. It was just a trial or whatever. Which was funny because some friends of mine were big into WoW and, had their like weekly raids and all this stuff. And they're like, you should come play with us. I'm like, I mean, it sounds great in theory, but nah, it just didn't really click for me. So, but when we started playing LOTRO, I think it was a combination of like being immersed in the land of Middle Earth, which I had an affection for, and being able to, did you get both of these?
Yeah,
I'm at 8 also. Okay, good.
Oh, good.
Why don't I just to get us out of here? Or we could ride out.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Okay, I'll follow. So yeah, so I was willing to put the effort into getting better at figuring out how to do things in the game, because I had always been like a mouse controlling person, and so switching to, and I'd played a lot on consoles, but I had not played a lot of, MMO stuff on the computer. Like I'd played Ratchet and Clank and, various other things. So I was all over the controller, but switching to keyboard mouse was a big transition for me. But thankfully before had been comfortable in doing games with keyboard mouse. So when I would get to, some points of frustration of like, well, I don't understand why I'm having trouble doing this or having trouble doing that. And he would say, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And, would help me get a better handle on how to manage being a player in the game, more than I had previously. So I definitely got a lot more comfortable with keyboard mouse in this game. And so this is now like my default. And so when I go and play other games where I've got keyboard mouse controls, I have a tendency to try to map them to match my LOTRO controls, which is really funny. So, but it is funny when I go to like Valheim, because your camera is very integrated with pit fighting. Yeah, sounds great. With where the mouse is on the screen. And so you move the mouse and that turns your character, and boy, that does my head in switching back and forth between these two sometimes. So let's see. Jaywalk Gaming asked, which D&D edition did you like? Before says I played a lot of 3.5 in college and the decade after, and then more Pathfinder, which you think of as 3.75. So that's what you're most comfortable with. Yeah, and you came to WoW after so many hours playing Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, so the mythology made more sense to you. Yeah, I mean, I played some like Lords of Waterdeep board games, stuff like that. So, but JWalk Gaming says I played 5e when I first started in 2019, but then played 3.5 and noticed I had way more magic capabilities. Before adored the psionics in 3.5, probably because it aligns more closely with video games with a pool of magic points to spend. Yeah, what did we, so we were playing Pathfinder, but I had done, oh, hang on, I gotta click on a bucket here. Gotta change my outfit. Bleh. All right, so Pargrub. Let me go into a pit fighting instance. Hopefully I'm traveling to where you are. There we are. Good. Okay. So now we're in a little pit fighting tournament. It's very silly. So like a long time ago, I played AD&D, so Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. But I didn't get to play that very much because it was like my dad and his friends were playing it. And then it might have still been AD&D though later that I was playing as a young adult with some friends that I had made. And then I honestly don't remember which versions I've played, which editions I've played. And so basically, before and I were playing together more, I think, so whatever he's played, I've played. We definitely did 3.5, which is the one where you have all the cards. Is that 5? Is that 5e? No, 5e is the revamp, isn't it? I know a lot of people really didn't like 4e, but I think we've played 4 and I didn't mind it. 3.5, I think, is pretty successful. What? Trying to remember, I think it was 5e that I ended up DMing for. We were doing like a, what's it called? A league. Where basically they have like points you can earn or whatever as a player, and you can. The idea is that you could then take your character to other D&D league nights. So there's some standardization across it, and so I was DMing for that. Yeah, D&D Adventures League. That was it. Thank you. It was a few years ago. This is pre-corona. Finish now. I have finished. So yeah, so I was DMing for some D&D Adventures League, but then, oh wait, we're going in again? Or you just want to be wearing the armor? Okay, I'll wear the armor with you or whatever. So it was really funny because I really enjoy playing like fighters and going and doing a bunch of smashy, or oh, you got hit, your armor is off. Or doing some range stuff and whatnot. But anyway, at one point we were playing in a Pathfinder campaign, and I was playing a gnomish bard. We were all gnomes. It was really funny, actually. Like this huge party of gnomes. It was hilarious. Anyway, oops. So I was playing a bard, and like other people would get up and be doing stuff, and I was like, well, if I try to attack, it does like a teeny bit. I want to do all this, stuff that everybody else is doing. I want to do big hits. And then before and I were talking about it, and he pointed out that because of the buffs that I was able to give other players as a bard, that I was increasing their damage. And so basically I was, through them doing a lot of damage. I was like, all right, I can get on board with that. Sorry, there's this fumarole is not happy with me because I shot it. Okay, I'll stop shooting things and I will put a keg out for these guys. But then, yeah, we were playing in another one before that, though, where we had... Did we have the cards for that one? No, I can't remember. Anyway, so I played a bunch of D&D of various kinds, and I wouldn't say that I've hated any of it. Like, I know people have some very strong opinions about, oh, this I like this, or I don't like that. And for me, it's I don't know. I adapt to whatever I've got in front of me, I guess. I did enjoy Pathfinder a lot, though. But that also, we had a really great DM, so that helps. I think that's really what it comes down to. If you have a good DM, that just makes a lot of the difference. Yeah, J-Ball Gaming, I really hope that, like, if you jump back into LOTRO or DDO, that you can find, like, a group of people to play with, because I definitely think that really, you know, adds something to the game for me, for sure, is playing with other folks. Like, I have a completionist character on the other role-playing Courage server over on Mary, and I definitely do not do anywhere near the amount of questing that I do with this character, and it's I'm sure because, you know, I'm running around and doing a lot of it by myself, or needing to coordinate to get with other people in order to do things. And it's just not, you know, it's not as much fun than doing stuff with other people, and especially when you've got, like, you know, a group of people who are regularly doing questing and stuff's going on and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you do find some folks if you go out looking. All right, claiming the first encampment for Gondor. Yay! For the Greyhammers. Yeah. Like before, saying if they in D&D, like if they would generally do, you know, 8 damage, but because of the bard's bardic inspiration or whatever, not inspiration, but whatever, they then would do 10. Then yeah, the bard gets credit for 2. It's funny though, I did end up starting to watch Dimension 20 on Dropout, and watching them play D&D or, you know, various other role-playing games, and that's actually been a lot of fun to watch. It's a lot easier than trying to get a group together and finding a DM and all of that anyway. Also, I'm not sure I have time for it right now, the time I'd want to dedicate to it. Yeah, Jaywalk Gaming says, yeah, my problem is not enough time and too many games I want to play. I hear that. Yeah, every so often, like, well, there, you know, and a lot of times in Discord, you can set up a Discord bot that will connect to, like, free games information, and so you'll have, like, information about what free games are available out in the world right now. You know, oh, these games are for free over here, or these games are for free over there, and yeah, that's a dangerous thing, isn't it? And that's not even getting into mobile games. Like, I definitely have stuff on my phone that I play, because I'm not always at my computer, and sometimes I want to play something on my phone. Hi. Kato is coming back for a moment. Oops, I seem to be not caught up to you at the moment. A little lag there. What you doing, sweetie? Where are you going? You going over here? Oop, let me attack stuff while we're renegotiating. Here, do you want to... Can I pick you up and show you to the peoples? No. Oh, now you want to get comfy. She's not a huge fan of being picked up and held, but she will tolerate it from time to time. Before, and I've been working on it with her. With both of them. Neither of them have really been too keen on being held. Yes, baby. But yeah, we've been working on it with them and getting them more comfortable, and let them know that yes, they are allowed to, you know, be picked up and held, and they're not in trouble. It's all good. It's all good. She is. Hey, sweet girl. Somebody's shooting at us from on high as well. All right, do the final encampment here in a second. Yeah, Dark Empress says I love Dimension 20 and Critical Role D&D live campaigns. It's so funny because I think because we have watched things on Dropout, and so I started watching their Dimension 20 stuff. And I haven't watched any Critical Role yet, which is really funny because before we moved here, we had a roommate who was huge into watching the Critical Role stuff and had like the t-shirt with all the names and everything on it. And I'm like, who are these people? You know, that sort of thing. So now that I've seen Matt Mercer doing stuff on Dimension 20, I'm like, oh, okay, I know this person. Oh, and his wife did the pirate one. They did a pirate one, and she was playing like a bird person. That I really enjoyed that character that she was playing and stuff. Anyway, so I guess it's like I have a familiarity or a comfort level now with those people and interest in watching them playing other characters, you know what I mean? So it's on my kind of like mental to-do list that I want to start watching some Critical Role also. And of course now Brenly Mulligan's doing some stuff there, but I kind of want to start like near the beginning, you know, so I know who these characters are a little bit before I jump into the more recent stuff. So I'm almost actually caught up on Dimension 20. I've got like, I think one season that I haven't seen yet. So I had it all queued up, and then we got busy, and I ended up having to take an emergency trip out of town. And it's just kind of thrown me off, and so I haven't kind of gotten back into the swing of everything quite yet, that included. But the good news is that it's getting warmer again. We're in February. We had like just a really cold January here. I mean, although I was gone for part of it, but still. It's been cold, and it even snowed here at the beginning of the year. It's crazy stuff. So I will be glad. So one of the things I'm trying to get better at is being more active and getting outside, and my doctor wants me to get more active and stuff like that. So I'm working on it. But when it's just cold and dark and all that, it's really, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to get out there. Anyway, so I'm hoping that as like, you know, I noticed that the other day I was going somewhere in the evening that I go to yoga. And as I was walking over, it was still light out. It got dark while I was there. But still, I mean, you know, that's nice. So that kind of helps me like feel like I can accomplish more. So then it'd be nice to be like, I can do a lot of stuff and watch Dimension 20. I can play LOTRO and watch Dimension 20 and go for bike rides, you know, and do all the things and go swimming. Right now I'm just like hunkered down. Before says my favorite game on mobile telephone is catching up on my RSS feeds. Yeah, I just started looking at Substack recently, which I had been not engaging with. But what I'm realizing is it's just like people posting longer form articles on subjects that I may already find interesting, right? There's a lot of stuff out there. So I'm like, so I started looking at the stuff that I was like, just making me unhappy. So I was like, okay, I can manage this better. Like, where's the Dutch news? So I'm like trying to find, you know, people who are writing articles about what's happening in the Netherlands or something like that, because that generally makes me more happy. So. But anyway, so yes, I'm working on reintegrating watching videos back into my schedule because I enjoy that. I have a good time watching that stuff. So I'm hoping to get back to watching some, finish up with Dimension 20 and then switch over to watching Critical Role for a while. I think that'd be cool. And I was playing some mobile games on my phone that were taking up a bit of time, and I decided that I don't like the amount of time that they're taking. So I'm cutting back on that and may just drop out altogether. We'll see. It's one of those where you're like, in a thing with other people and you're doing raids and you're doing stuff and you're competing against other, you know, alliances and stuff like that. And I'm like, is this really important to me? And I think the answer is no. As much as I want it to be, it isn't. So I think I need to keep weaning myself off of that and eventually just let it go. Right? I think Kato would agree if she was awake, but I think she's asleep. She fell asleep already. All right, well, gosh, we're coming up on 3 hours. How many more things do we want to accomplish today? In terms of these quests that we've been working on for the alliances.
Well, of course, there's lots of them available. We only have 2 more here in Telethuri.
Okay. So we're hearing we have 2 more, excuse me, here in Telethuri. Well, finish this one and then 1 more. Cool, that's 6 of 6 for me.
The last day they request the request for Frodo. We just finished the dwarf request.
Oh, okay, we're working on the request for Frodo. We finished the dwarf request.
The Shrine of the Gosh Time, and then
Yeah.
the request.
Okay, cool. Cool. I actually had been watching Jet Lag, the game, which I enjoy quite a lot. And they were in the UK, which I've lived in the UK for 2 years. And so I was definitely curious about it. And then I ended up like getting halfway through the season and then was gone and wasn't watching it while I was gone. So I just caught that up. And yeah. So that was fun to finish off. I don't know if I mentioned, honey, but I'm probably going to be taking on some volunteering on Thursdays. Every other Thursday. Yeah. Yes, Kagosi says a cat has a hard life. No kidding, right? Oh, this is that one. This is so funny. Okay, so this small chest here, I go to interact with it and it says I'm too far away. So there was something about it, about how you have to get like right up next to it. We think there's something about it that it thinks it's not where it is, or it thinks it's not where you see it on the screen. And so it's kind of funny. Okay, we're going off to some place called Nairband.
It's a prison.
Oh, the prison. Oh, so here's a wacky thing. So this is Mordor that we're in, and it is super dark here. But what we've done is we've played with like the gain and the contrast. And so it's got it so that you can see. Now this might be also from the UI. So I'm not sure if I set I thought I'd reset it from questing last week. But anyway, so if you find that you are in Mordor or anywhere else and you're having a hard time seeing what's going on and seeing all the contrast, you know, in all of the different landscape and everything, try playing gamma. That's what it was, not gain, the gamma. Try playing with the gamma. In our case, we turned it up, and that has really changed. Now, I turned mine up quite a bit at one point. Well, not quite a bit, but like a bit. And it was kind of washing things out. And so then I changed and I played with the contrast. So that made a difference. But then when I was going to other places, it didn't have quite the right look. So just a heads up on that if you're in one of these dark places, that playing with the gamma and then playing with the contrast can really might give you a better look for what you're trying to achieve here. Okay, so let's see. I have talk most of. So I was just trying to go around that guy because I'm a little bit behind you. There we are. We're trying to not like just end up in combat with everything we end up with. A lot of that stuff's going to rubber band back probably. I think I want to just go ahead and remove all that off of my list for now. Oh, they caught up to you. There we go. Oh, I don't have my skipping mode on at the moment. Sure why. Yeah. Let's see if I have that nearby. Whimsy, move Whimsy. There we go. I do love these little emotes that they gave us. It's called move underscore and then whatever it is. So this is move Whimsy. There's also move Merc for Mirkwood. There's a gosh, what else is there? There's a handful of them. Oh, there's move Defender. Yeah, there's a bunch of fun things. So we've been enjoying playing with those. Oh, there was another question about the plugins earlier. I'm trying to remember. So I also participate in some role-playing stuff where we're playing music and then saying words at the same time. So it's as if you are singing. So I have a couple of plugins that I dedicate to that stuff. So I use Songbook, which is really handy for playing music. And then I've also got, what am I using? Is that Lyrical? Poetical. I use Poetical for the lyrics for poems or songs. And that's really handy for that sort of thing. I also have an in-game little notepad called LOTRO Pad, which I don't use as much right now as I have in the past. Oh. I didn't realize we weren't staying in combat or taking care of combat. But anyway, it's like just a little notepad where you can scribble stuff down if you're trying to remember things, and you've got little tabs that you can change the titles on. So I found that one was really useful to me. It goes back and forth of how useful it is for me. I haven't been using it lately, but like if you're doing trick-or-treating and you're trying to remember which neighborhoods have the stuff that you're looking for, that's a great place to scribble that sort of thing down. Hi, that was Casper walking by. There was when we were on one of the other servers, when we were on Treebeard, Legendary, we were on a Legendary server, and people would often come in and be like, hey, is there a French-speaking kin? Is there a German-speaking kin? Like that kind of thing. And so I just kind of scribbled that information in there. Oh, we're going to do this together, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I think they run. Yep. Okay. Can't Yeti these guys, though. You have to find them all. Oh, thanks. Ready? Cool, thank you. Frodo asked us to come in here and free these folks. Yep. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, the hardest part is getting here. Okay. Cool. All right.
That's all of our
Sweet. Should we go turn stuff in? Okay. Start with the hobbits?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Oh, and then we still need to go turn... No, maybe we don't. Turn stuff into Kandur. I think we did. I think so. So when we're turning stuff in to these folks, there's two things that'll happen. Is if they sent us off to collect things, there's this collection box where you can drop that stuff off. But we didn't have any of that today. And then you'll talk to the organizer person, and our daily request, which was to do stuff for Frodo, so we can turn that into her. And then there was also like a daily that could be done for any of these guys. We could turn it into any of them. Hi, buddy. So we can go ahead and turn this into her. What are you doing? You stand in the way of my screen. That's okay. Hey, Casper. He's wandering around because he wants to get on my lap, but Kato's already there. So let's see. All of these are, looks like, done. And these are maybe done. Hi, buddy. What are you thinking? Okay, so then we need to go to the other factions and turn those in. Yeah, you want to hang out here, bud? You know, if you stay here, people on screen can see you. You're famous. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh, well. It's okay. I'm definitely not going to try and pick him up because he would not be happy. So here's the collection box. Nothing to turn in. But we can, oops, go talk to this guy and give him the quest that he asked us for. So still defiant. Thank you for returning the shield. Okay. You're welcome. To the elves. So I'm going over here to Rovanian and to the court of Lothlorien. There's a blanket that I've put on the back of the couch that's a little squishy. It's like a cheap blanket, so it's really fine. And man, the cats love just like making some big biscuits there. So that's what the blanket's over here, and he's over here getting himself comfy. All right, so food, water, and words. Thank you for doing that. You are welcome. And yeah, nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, and then the last one is the journey to the hall under the mountain. So I'm going to head over there. These are some different travel emotes that we also have picked up from some of the different expansions and things, or bundles that have come out. Those are a lot of fun. So, all right, and then we'll turn this one over here. Hot work and lots of it. So we gave them the kegs, and he's like, thanks. Okay, so is that everything? Pretty close.
That was, I think, all of the quests that we had finished. There are a couple that we didn't do yet that we chose today.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna probably do, because I've been streaming for 3 hours and I'm kind of getting hungry. So I think I am about to call this good for me. You know, I might send myself back to housing, because housing is cool. Oh, sure. Do I need to instigate it? Okay. Hang on. We're going to do a quick trade, because what I can do is I can give Affidel all the stuff out of my inventory. It makes my life a little easier. So yeah, so I'm going to wrap up the stream here. So if you have any other questions or things you wanted to bring up before the end of the stream, now is your chance. And I want to say, you know, thanks everybody for coming along and sticking around. This has been awesome. Like I said, normally I have a pretty small, chill stream, but according to the interwebs, there's still like 100 and some folks technically hanging around in the chat. You may not actually be actively listening. That's totally okay. But, you know, I'm glad to have you here. So thanks for joining. And I'm here every Tuesday. I start streaming at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, so server time, 11:30 server time in the morning. And then usually before, we'll then stream after me about 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later. He does his stream, plugging along. So you are welcome on any Tuesday to come and hang out with us. Yes, just like Hagamar, lurkers are welcome. So, but yeah. So let's see. Okay, so I think I'm going to go to the housing, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I will see you anon. I'll just go to where the crates are. Although I could have gone, hang on, I could go to my house, whatever. I can't remember how I've decorated my house here. Let's find out. So I haven't done, okay, so I usually do a lot of housing decoration. But in this server, I have not. I've really just been focusing on our completionist characters doing all of their completionist stuff. Because we do our weekly questing. But over on Mary is where I have a lot more of my roleplay stuff going on, and so I have all my housing is pretty much over there. In fact, I don't even have a premium house on this server right now. It's crazy. So I just have my personal house, which is here in the Shire, of course. Isn't that, I love this lily pond and fountain of the budding spring. So cute. I love how they give us a water feature. Like we don't get a lot of water features in the game, it feels like. So I was like, I really like this one. And then we've got our apple picker party set, which is pretty neat. That's all one thing. That's all one housing item. Love that. And then we've got our kin house over here, which there we go. It's like things are taking a moment to spawn in. With all of our little animal houses and stuff. And of course a miniature boar fountain looks quite like the one you might see in Bree. So that one's fun. So anyway, so yeah, so Jaywalk Gaming says very chill stream. I like it. Yeah, that's kind of how I roll these days. Is I know there's people that are like but that's just not really my style. It's just not how I roll. And honestly, if I'm too energetic and loud, I give myself a headache. So we just don't do that. I know it sounds very silly, but there we are. At any rate, so like I said, I'm here every Tuesday. You're all welcome to come and join me as I enjoy running around Middle Earth or do festivals. Normally that's really more my thing, is doing festivals. So hopefully, let's see, when is our next festival? It's not until like middle of March, I believe. I don't know the exact date off the top of my head though. A lot of times what I do, and I haven't done it this year yet, is I will take the LOTRO schedule that Cordovan posts, and in my character, under the biography, I will go in and post when things are happening from a schedule perspective. But I did it for, I didn't even do 2025. I did 2024 was the last one I did. So I need to get a little caught up on copying and pasting that into my bio. So I don't have the schedule off the top of my head for when's our next festival. But generally, Spring Festival is like mid-March, and then early to mid-March generally. And then the anniversary is like mid-April. So to keep those two from crashing into each other, they try to keep, the spring one early, a little bit earlier. Yes, and there is the link in the chat. Thanks, honey. That will take you to what is the schedule. So Cord just updates this every year, the public event schedule. So it's always the same link. It just means, though, if you want to look at previous year's stuff, you're out of luck. But it's always the same link. So it's Fordale, Nodale. Pros and cons. So Spring Festival starts, March 12th. So we've still got like a month, 4 weeks before the Spring Festival. So we'll be doing some other stuff here for the next 4 weeks. We'll find some things to some mischief to get into. Probably keep doing the Mordor stuff for now until we finish with those allegiances. And by then we'll figure out something else to do. So yes, plenty of time to finish off Mordor expeditions. I know. So yes, so that's probably what we'll be doing for the next few weeks here on the stream. But you never know, we might do something different. We'll just have to come and check it out. Oh, you know when the oh, that won't be till Q2. I was gonna say when Elven Housing comes out, I am gonna go and buy an Elven house, and so that'll be fun to take a look at that and play around with that. You know what though? Given that it's not coming out till Q2, I wonder if they're gonna do a bull roar. That's the name of the test server where they test things out. And they open it up usually for like a 3-day window when they're testing things, and then they close it back down. And while it's open, you can go on there and play around with things. And then you can also, like the devs are on there, and so you can just post things in world chat like, hey, I found a bug, this, that, blah, 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 rather than having to go through the whole process of putting in a bug report. So that's really handy to do if you're into kind of checking things out before they get published. So if they do a bull roar that includes the new Rivendell housing, the Elven housing, if they do that, if it's open on a Tuesday, then, because it's usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but occasionally they're open on Tuesday. So if they do one on a Tuesday, we could do that, where we can check that out on stream. That would actually be a lot of fun. I would really enjoy doing that. But we'll have to just wait and see. Because in their letter to the players that they put out recently, they said that Rivendell housing is expected in Q2. So that won't be until like April, May, June. I'm hoping sooner, like April-ish, but we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. So anyway, yeah, so I've been Little Redhead. Thanks for coming along and joining me and B4, who has also been on the stream with me today. And please feel free to drop in anytime to watch some Heart of a Hobbit here, or any of the other stuff that's happening here on the LOTRO channel. There's lots of folks streaming here, so hopefully you find stuff that grooves for you, and you enjoy and have a fun time. Oh, Oscar Gosi says thank you for a great stream. Thank you. You're welcome. Dark Empress, thanks for the stream. It was nice meeting you. Well, it was nice meeting you too. And thanks for popping in. Have a great rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. And I will see you again, hopefully next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.